Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Total Basis Podcast. I am your host, Felipe, and with me is my co-host for the evening, James Pinos. James, how you doing today?
Good, good, sir. We're ready for the spreadsheet with syndrome from you tonight.
Spreadsheet, man, life is a spreadsheet. Life is a spreadsheet. Life is a highway. No, life is a spreadsheet. Everything's a spreadsheet. I just happen to put a baseball spin to it, and it offends people. You know what? But let me tell you something, bro. You know what else is a spreadsheet? I'll show you what a spreadsheet looks like. This is a spreadsheet. Bam. What do you think of them apples, huh? The 2025 Baseball Life draft results. That's a spreadsheet. All right. Yeah, it's nice, fancy color coded with their fancy colors and the player names and all that with the pictures of it. But you know what? All this is that you see in front of you, James, if you can see my screen, all that is basically this. Yeah, that's all it is. Is that I don't have the player names or I'm sorry, I don't have the player faces or anything. This is what everybody's draft pick from the Baseball Life draft that just wrapped up on Sunday, I believe. And here's what the starting pitchers look like.
Uh,
If you're wondering who the worst pitcher that was selected, Michael Lorenzen.
Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him this year. So yeah, Trevor Williams, Andrew Painter is on my tier six. But yeah, as you can see, everybody got selected in this first two tiers right here.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of stops in tier three with Luis Severino at pick number, what's that, 80? So 30 plus 30 plus 20, that's 80. That's the 80th best starting pitcher on my board. And then it goes downhill from there. But a mixed bag of prospects and veterans and pitch to contact pitchers and guys like,
Suspects.
yeah, yeah, prospects. Reed Detmers, who is like a kind of like a fallen commodity. He's still in there in tier number four. Oh, I just noticed that this one isn't big enough.
No,
There it
he
goes.
got sent to the bullpen.
Yeah, so I probably should move him
He
down the
lost
board.
his spot to some other young guy.
Yeah, yeah. The Angels have a couple of relief pitchers. Most notably, this guy named Caden Dana, I believe, if
Hmm.
I'm saying his name correctly. But it's the Angels, so you can't really trust them too much. There you. Oh, that's Cade Cavalli. Never mind. There's another fallen prospect.
Something, I don't know.
There
The
you
guy
go.
he lost is had some weird long S name. I can't remember it exactly. Uh, I was looking at some stuff before.
Let's see. Well, since that's how we're gonna start the show. We're gonna look up who in the hell is on the Angels rotation, and I'll pull that up in just a bit. I have it on the other screen here. There it goes, slowly but surely. And don't call me Shirley. Come on, open up. It's loading. Fangraphs has been working overtime in my on my computer. Let's zoom in a little bit more. There you go. And of course, there you go. There you go. Now everybody can see on their little phones and screens and stuff. So it's Yusei Kikuchi at SP1, followed by Jose Soriano, Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks, and Jack
That's the weird name. I thought it was an S. It's Kokanowitz.
Kohanovitz,
I was like, just
Kohanovitz. It's
yeah,
that.
they got a dentist in the number five spot there.
And there it is. Reed Detmers relegated to long relief role, which I thought I would never see the day, but here we are. I mean, folks are just hitting his fastball very well. They're able to. And he's only 25 years old and already being designated as a reliever. Detmers pitched 4 innings in a Cactus League contest against the Padres on Sunday, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits and no walks while striking out 4 batters. But what was going on with Reed Detmers, I believe, he was coming out of the bullpen for all of his games and
Hmm.
pitching multiple innings. With the idea that well, they're just trying to get more work in for both the both pitchers, including Detmers, and it turns out they're just getting him ready for that bullpen role. He pitched 6 games, 3 of them were starts. I mean, respectable, especially for a guy trying to cut down on his walks. I mean, the strikeout per nine in spring training at 7.91 is pretty respectable. ERA is pretty darn good. FIP shows that it matches. XFIP basically says that the homers are a little fluky. Yeah, he didn't give up a single home run in spring training, but that's okay. I mean, we thought he was having a good spring, and then I mean, the projections like his per nine and ERA could be a lot worse considering that he does play with the Angels in terms of projections. Steamer likes him, three at 3.96 ERA. But I don't know. It just feels like there's something that hitters were able to figure out on Reed Detmers. And I know that the people were complaining about the fastball. Yeah, look at that 10.7 barrel rate against, which if it's in double digits, you're in trouble. You want it to be in double digits for a hitter,
Hmm.
definitely not double digits for a pitcher. And then and the my rule of thumb is if a hitter's exit velocity is 90 miles per hour, that's pretty darn good. Yeah, he's close to that threshold. Reed Detmers is not quite 90, but pretty darn close. So that could have been a problem. Last year he had a 6.70 ERA as well. But the other thing I wanted to look at, I think is it this thing? Yes, the pitch velocity, Statcast. Uh, yeah, he's still leading on his fastball. So I don't know what they're looking for him. The slider is still there. The curveball, he's throwing it less now. He was trying to throw his changeup more last year as well. And at this point, we don't without really, digging deep into it. It's hard to tell what's going on with him. But I have to zoom back in because it's kind of cutting off. Oh, but that's it. That's all the pitches that he throws. Okay, so now we know. So yeah, man, that's the issue. And let's see, does he induce swings? Yeah, somewhat. I mean, he started getting people to chase outside the strike zone a little bit, over 30%. His 48.8% swing rate is pretty healthy. Contact rates are pretty low for a guy who, what's his fastball velocity again? What was it? It was 93.8 miles an hour. Yeah, he throws it pretty hard for a lefty. And he induces strikes. He gets strikes called in. He induces a 13% swinging strike rate as well. I'm sorry, I forgot to put this back into big size there for the people at home. Oh, but see, that's the problem. Oh, no, I got it. My bad. Um, and even in spring training, he was inducing what is this called again? The called strike plus swinging strike percentage over 30%. That's usually pretty darn good. And swinging strike rate of 16.5%. What else are people? What else are they looking for here? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we are with him. Anything else about him? The stuff plus over 100 across the board. We want those numbers to be over 100, especially a slider. I just don't know why it's not getting results, bro. I mean, what? I mean, I'm out of ideas. What do you think is happening with Reed Detmers here?
I mean, in the limited starts that I saw, like I said, it just seemed like they were on his fastball, like you were saying. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's tipping it somehow. He's not
Mm.
hiding it well. It's, there's got to be something behind it because, like you said, the stuff is there clearly.
Look at this,
But
man.
sometimes it takes some guys a little bit longer. We'll see what happens if he gets another shot.
Yeah.
You know how long the season is and how your rotation goes in and out. So,
Yeah, because everything else about him is just like he should be better. A 3.77 Sierra, which accounts for the batted ball league averages.
hmm
Everything about him shows that he should have been better last year than what he showed. But this is the key number right here. Hitters are pulling at a 47.9% pull rate against him, which you can only imagine, like you said, how they're feasting on that fastball and they're driving it in the air,
and
which,
as a lefty, sometimes if you play too much on the inside half of the plate and you're not disguising it, that's obviously the pull rate is a big pull rate.
right.
A lot of the good left-handers will, hit that fastball on that outside corner, use a cutter inside on the right-handers. If it's not moving enough, that thing's gonna get yanked, and that you see that high pull percentage that you were talking about.
Yeah. So I forgot how many innings did he pitch last year? He pitched 87. Jesus. So I mean, I guess he was hurt last year. I don't remember. I just
Yeah,
know
he was
that.
hurt at one point last year.
Okay, that makes sense. But still, I mean, so what? I got to go up here and figure out Fangraphs' fancy new module here. So let's see. We got 80 innings pitch. What I'm looking for is to see what that horizontal movement looks like, and this is going to be pretty darn hard because he's on the low side of things. But there it is, right there. All right, so let's see. Now this is the left-handed, so I got to imagine it. So at a 5.5 inch straight to into the right-handed hitter is what you were saying.
Right.
Meanwhile, this wait, I'm trying to imagine. How does it go again? No, he's throwing. I'm sorry, the fastball's being thrown outside the right-handed pitcher, away from the right-handed pitcher. anything negative goes into the right-handed pitcher.
Into the right-handed.
Yeah, so the slider goes about half an inch into the right-handed pitcher. The curveball also goes almost 5 inches into the right-handed hitter. And then he's kind of trying to disguise the fastball with the changeup
Right.
as they kind of like the changeup goes slower, as you know, but then it dips away from the right-handed hitter. But I don't, like you said, I don't think they're being fooled by it. I don't think they're being fooled by the changeup. It just seems like you said, they'll wait on the slider and the curveball and just sit on the fastball, and so I guess that's those are the results. And just to see how does that rank a 5.5 inches away from the right-handed hitter? He's right there with Patrick Corbin, Andrew Abbott, so other left-handed pitchers. There's Garrett Croquet. So yeah, that's common. But and I guess there's no real baseline here. Is 5.5 inches good or not? I mean, who's number one? Nick Lodolo, who
Yeah, but
has a
if you
at
look at
a
these guys, look at their changeup
yeah, they're
versus his.
they're trying to match it. So maybe that's the trick. Maybe the trick is to because Lodolo has good stuff. He just doesn't have. He needs a little bit of refinement and just to stay
Right.
healthy. But his fastball breaks even further away from the right-handed hitters, and the changeup is right almost identical. If you don't see it coming, and that's just horizontal. I have no idea
Right.
what the vertical movement looks like. But if it's just horizontal,
But
then
you see
yeah,
the big difference is, their fastballs and their changeups, like the number of the changeup on his, I think wasn't it like a 6.9?
6.9. Yeah,
Yeah, so
It-
look at these guys who have been more successful with it.
yeah,
Their
they're
changeup difference is a lot bigger.
yeah, it's higher, but it's right there with their changeup is right there with the horizontal movement of their fastballs. So
Right,
they're
so right
able to
there.
disguise it. Okay, I thought you were talking about you were meaning something else. Yeah, then there's Sean Manaea who has like one 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 and
Hmm.
1.1 inch, I guess, on that one. But Sean Manaea was pretty good. Trevor Rogers, it starts to dip a little bit as we go down. There's Cole Reagans. He's not afraid to throw that changeup, and he doesn't care that it breaks a little bit further out than his fastball. So there's more than one way to scratch a cat here. But I think ultimately, I think we're onto something. I think it's just the hitters sitting on the fastball because the movement on the other pitches are just not good. And again, this is just a horizontal. I mean, if I were to do vertical, which I guess, but yeah, I wish there was an easier way to do this, but there's not. I can go to Statcast, but I'll be honest, I'm not very good with Statcast quite yet. I pretty much live in I pretty much live in Fangraphs world, but this is what it looks like. And here it is. Where's the changeup? Oh, there. What?
5.3.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, 5.3. So 6.9 away, and then 5.3 it stays up. So yeah, try to envision that one. So let's see. What does a 9.2 fastball looks like? So it's up there. It's up there with Nick Pavetta up in the strike zone. Carter Crawford, Tyler Anderson, sorry, his teammate, Ryan Pepio. And then we got Reed Detmers at 9.2, somewhere down here next to Mitchell Parker and Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown also has a pretty darn good fastball. So yeah, this is just raw data. It doesn't really tell me much of anything, but with Reed Detmers, we definitely know that he has issues just getting lit up, and it just points to a guy who's getting his fastball tattooed. So that's the issue there. Anyway, let's start. Well, I did not expect this show to start off by talking about Reed Detmers, but I'm glad we had the talk because I was expecting some high things this year, but then the red flag was, hey, they're calling him out of the bullpen. So like, why are they calling him out of the bullpen? But it's normal in spring training. They're trying to get their work in, well, everybody involved, and he looked pretty darn good this spring. You saw his walks are down, but I think they want him to work on that fastball out of the bullpen, and the risk right there, James. I'm sorry, I'm blabbering, but I want to just finish with this. The risk with having him coming out of the bullpen is he's left-handed, and you know how these teams are. It's almost like a stigma. Once you're a left-handed pitcher, and they find a spot for you on the bullpen, that's pretty much it for you. You're gonna be the lefty bullpen guy for the rest of your career, if you're lucky for the rest of your
Yeah.
career. So, because not everybody grows up to be Arthur Rhodes and who's a good example, left-handed relief pitcher, Randy Myers. Or Aroldis Chapman, right? He's lucky if he ends up like Aroldis Chapman. So we'll see. We'll see if he's actually becoming successful out of the bullpen. All right, enough of that. Speaking of left-handed pitchers, you see that Garrett Croquet is the first guy off the board. This is the Baseball Life Fantasy Baseball League. It's a head-to-head categories, 12 by 12, a semi-weekly league. So we do need our pitchers to be set for the Monday through Thursday matchup as well as the Friday through Sunday matchup. As James, you and I, we did the show on this league already with all the keepers. So all the keepers have been set. This is virtually every team has three major league players and a varied amount of minor league players. Basically, this draft this year starting out in the virtual fourth round, but for the sake
Mhm.
of what we see in front of us, it's the first round, and I think I'm going to do the first few draft picks around, James, just so I can introduce people, including the Mets fan, Sean Flannery, my old podcast partner. He goes with Garrett Croquet to start off, followed by he has Team Cruise Missile Crisis, followed by Team Chicks Dick the Long Ball, the only female in this league. Erin from Toronto, she's a big Blue Jays fan. She goes with Emmanuel Clase. Your team, Bronx Bombers, going. He's a Yankees fan. We all know he's wearing a Yankees jersey today, but he goes with the Red Sox outfielder and Jaron Duran. Followed by Jacob, who is a Mets fan from upstate New York. Trey Turner, shortstop. Team Noah, he's in this league as well. You met him in the other league already, the Total Bases Podcast League. Now he's in the Baseball Life League as well. He goes with the starting pitcher and Cole Reagans. And as you know, Noah is a huge Cubs fan. He is such a huge Cubs fan that he goes out of his way to draft all the Cubs players. So on the opposite side of that spectrum is Jet. He is a Milwaukee Brewers fan, and he gets Hunter Green with his first round pick, followed by our fearless leader, King Putti. That's Henry, the Yankees fan from New Jersey. Jazz Chisholm. He goes with the Yankees third baseman and center fielder. Jackson Merrill, center fielder for the Padres, going to this team called Big Dinger Energy. Uh, Andrew O'Sullivan is a Mets fan from the Eastern Seaboard. Molina Applebaum, he is from Washington State, but he's a Cardinals fan. He goes with Mason Miller. So there's our second closer of the evening already snatched up. Were you surprised that Mason Miller was going ahead of guys like Edwin Diaz, Devin Williams, Josh Hader?
Yeah, mostly because again, the Athletics are not slated to be great, obviously. And so you
Yeah.
figure as far as overall saves, he's probably got a less of a ceiling.
Yeah. That's what I was worried about too, is the Athletics. I don't like the situation. He's pitching in a minor league park, and who knows, maybe the A's decide, yeah, we're just gonna trade you to a contending team, and suddenly he goes from closer to setup guy, which I guess in this league it doesn't hurt too much, because of how our league is set up for relief pitchers. He can always get holds and stuff. I had
Right.
Mason Miller as my third best relief pitcher behind Edwin Diaz and Josh Hader. But like I said, I wasn't really going out of my way. The closers I ended up getting were Edwin Diaz and Devin Williams, just because I like their situation a little bit better than I do Mason Miller. So
Hmm.
anyway, anyway, we go to Angels team. He's the Rays fan from Utah. Ketel Marte, and once again, he is right next to me, just like in the Total Bases Podcast League. I was picking fourth, he was picking fifth, and this one he's picking 10th, and I pick 11th. And my team's name is Framil Muertes. I am a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan from Chicago. And I go with the former White Sox, Dylan Cease. And finishing the draft as our champion, gotta go to Lowe's. James, the other James, James Handebold, Mets fan from Florida now. Oh, okay, that's right. He did make the move there. He goes back to back Astros on the turn with Jose Altuve and Framber Valdez, which that's the same thing that happened in the other league that we were in. Valdez and Altuve went back to back as bookends in in our other draft as well. Any surprises here besides Mason Miller? I guess James. Does it look copacetic to you? Everything as it should be. What do you
I
think?
mean, I was a little surprised with Chisholm.
Hmm.
I love his upside, and again, he's on my Yankee team, but
Yeah.
his numbers have not been great. He when he got there in New York last year, he got off hot, and then he just kind of reverted to the bad parts that I had seen with the Marlins.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting kind of to me like a make or break for him because he's got they have control for this year and next year, but if he doesn't show some consistency, that might be the end of his a quick New York stint.
Yeah. Trying to figure out how many players were kept this year for the pitching snaps. Looks like, did you keep Logan Webb? You kept Logan Webb, right?
I kept Webb, yeah.
Okay, so including minor league players, one, two, three, four. I'm gonna count five, six, seven, eight. Eight starting pitchers were kept coming into this draft. Oh, wait, I am so sorry. Not eight, nine, if you count Otani, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong tier. Okay, so 15, including minor leaguer starting pitchers, were kept in this coming into this draft, including I'm gonna say how many is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Seven out of the 11 top 12 guys. Seven out of the top 12 guys were kept uh, coming into this draft. I use the word 12 because 12 there's 12 teams, so you figure each one of us is going to get at least one ace. But seven were including Shohei Ohtani. Now that's semantics, right? We don't know if Ohtani will pitch this year, but I have him in there. If you don't want to count him, then yeah, 50% of the top 12 were kept coming into this draft. So lots of pitchers available uh, as the hitters were snatched up in the keeper process. After the Astros go, I go Blake Snell. So, Dylan sees Blake Snell, his teammate with the Padres last year. Well, I'm going back to back pitchers because I already had three hitters there. Anybody else go back to back starting pitchers? Yeah, Sean did. Aaron, if you want to count the closer and the starting pitcher, but that's pretty much it. Oh, and Jet as well, going with Hunter Green and Tanner Scott. But yeah, I like Snell coming into this season. So if any Dodgers player is gonna pitch from beginning to end, it's gonna be him this season,
You mean from beginning to fifth inning?
from beginning to end.
The fifth inning?
Oh God, hey man, at fifth, it's like I told the other guys in the other draft. Hey, when they were when I was talking about Justin Verlander, one guy told me, yeah, he's gonna get you through 5 innings and that's it. And I told him, hey, that qualifies for the win. I'm good with that. Maybe not the
Quality
quality
start,
starts.
6 innings.
I'm sorry, quality starts 6 innings. Yeah, maybe not the quality starts, but I can at least get the wins and get the 9 strikeouts, and hopefully he doesn't walk too many guys. Moving on, Angel decides to go with Corey Seager, and then Mike Harvey decides to get his own shortstop in O'Neal Cruz. Yashinobu Yamamoto going to Andrew's team, Big Dinger Energy. Wyatt Langford going to Henry's team, so he kind of balances out the uncertainty of Jazz Chisholm with a little bit of a steady floor with Wyatt Langford, although this is only his second year season coming up here. So it's a lot to he's expecting a lot of Henry's expecting a lot of things to go right his way this season in terms of those two players. And I mentioned Jet getting Tanner Scott. Of course, he gets Tanner Scott. And Team Noah, he did a good job getting Cole Reagans. I'm not sure about this Willie Adames thing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't like it. Am,
I
am I
thought,
too am I too critical
yeah.
of him? What's up? What's up with
No,
Willie
I mean,
Adames?
honestly, I was shocked by the Adamas pick that early. I mean, you definitely could have got him later if you really wanted Adamas.
Apparently not. Apparently not, because he's a popular guy. Angel took him. I thought he took him pretty early in our other draft.
Oh, did he?
So I thought he did. I thought it was way too early for Adames. I don't like. And there's a lot of good shortstops out there on my board.
That's what I'm saying. There's depth at that position, and I didn't think Adamas would go that early. I mean, technically it's the fifth round, I guess, but still.
Yeah, because after that, no.
Also because you have to look at what the keepers were, and I mean, it felt like some people had already kept shortstops, so you could have kind of held off.
Well, here's some for you. C.J. Abrams in the seventh round. Matt McClain also in the seventh round. Xander Bogaerts, Bo Bichette in the eighth. You see Xavier Edwards and Dansby Swanson. These are all guys I would have preferred. Maybe not
Mhm.
so much Xander Bogaerts, but definitely over it's the other guys over Willie Adames. There's Carlos Correa, who yeah, you could have waited in the 10th round. So I don't know what is so special about a guy who has a low batting average and is now going to be hitting in a big ballpark like San Francisco
Right.
where it's fine to have a low batting average because he used to get a lot of home runs and chip in the 15 stolen bases. How much did he get last year? I think he got to 21 last season, maybe. Let me see. I think it was a career, yeah, 21. But before then, he barely got to 10. He never got to 10 actually. So last year was a career year on a contract year. Imagine that. So
You know,
there's no
32 homers in Milwaukee, 32 homers in San Francisco. I don't think so.
no way.
No, that's a
Mm-mm.
big park, like you said.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that's happening.
The question is, will those home runs translate into doubles, or are they going to translate into fly ball outs?
Probably fly ball outs.
That's your whole question there.
I think it's more fly ball outs. I mean, he got a healthy amount of doubles, but you guys got to read. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I rather not. I'd rather not take that risk to find out if I'm right. Not this early. No way. Not when you still got all these pitchers like Aaron Nola, Michael King, Max Fried, Tyler Glasnow. I would rather him take a chance on Tyler Glasnow, honestly, than Willie Adames. But anyways, they see that back to back to back to back pitchers, starting pitchers actually. When you see stuff like that, what do you think is happening? Is it just a panic move? Oh crap, there's a run on starting pitchers. I better get mine before it's too late. Or what do you think is going on there with those four consecutive starting pitchers going in the second round?
I mean, for me, it was that I just needed more pitching. I felt at that point because I didn't hold on to it. I just held on to Webb as a starter, and I wanted to make sure I got another quality
Yeah,
starter.
yeah.
Um, as far as Cruz missile, I think also he had kept three hitters if I recall correctly for some reason.
That sounds about right. It sounds about right.
Um, and obviously Aaron got a closer. She wanted a starter. I
Yeah,
think she kept hitters also, if I recall correctly.
that sounds about right as well. Moving on
Um,
to the third round, Alex Bregman. I think this is going to be a big bounce back year for Alex Bregman.
I
I
said I said Bregman's best fit was Boston because he's a dead pull hitter. He's
yeah.
got that wall. He had the short porch in Houston for love, for right-handed pull hitters. And now he's got the wall.
Mhm.
He could easily lead the league in doubles, just playing ping pong off of that wall if he keeps his
Easily,
no.
easily. Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
There were a lot of Yankee fans who wanted the Yankees to sign him. I just kept saying, I said, Yankee Stadium is not a good stadium for him. He's a dead pull hitter. He's not a right center field hitter. Death Valley out in left center. That's just not a good. I was not a fan and happy that they didn't end up going that direction. But
No, and so you get Jazz Chisholm playing third base, I guess.
well, he's playing second now.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yeah,
Wait,
they moved
who?
they moved him back to second. That was the original plan last year, but apparently Gleiber did not want to move to third when they made the trade, and that
Oh,
became a whole thing.
reminds me of someone
Yeah.
Also in Boston.
Uh-huh.
Moving on to Aaron's team, we know she kept Adley Rutschman, so she goes Sal Perez, and then in the fourth round, she gets Cal Raleigh, which I've already shared my thoughts on Cal Raleigh. I think he's overrated, and he's in for a rude awakening this season, I believe. And I thought about this. I've looked at it numerous times as to what would make her do this to herself, getting the three catchers, and not just any three catchers, like three top five catchers. Is that right? Let me see. I got Rushman at number two, Salvador Perez at number four, and Raleigh at number seven. But Raleigh was going in the top five for a lot of experts rankings. So
Hmm.
basically, three top five catchers. So um, I'm not a fan of that move, but I guess if she believes that Cal Raleigh is a better, because if let's just say that Cal Raleigh ends up playing first base or whatever, or he DHs more than he catches. So I guess she's banking on that fact that, well, Cal Raleigh is the best util player out of anyone that's left on this list. So basically, she's saying that Cal Raleigh is better than Mike Trout, Austin Wells, Ian Happ, Josh Naylor. Definitely better than Yannier Diaz. I know she doesn't like Yannier Diaz. Better than Riley Green. Better than Wilson Contreras, which I think this is the Wilson was the catcher to target in drafts this year. Marcel better than Marcel Ozuna, better than Brenton Doyle, better than Mark Vientos, better than Tristan Cassis. So that's the only way it makes sense
Right.
because you're not stashing away a catcher in the fourth round or the virtual seventh round. So I don't know. Am I too critical here, James, or do you see it my way, or would you
I
have
I I thought
done
it I
this?
thought it was an odd pick at that point, considering, like you said, she has Rushman. She had already drafted Perez, who's catcher slash first baseman at this point.
Yeah.
If she didn't need to go there, she probably, like you said, there's a lot of other things she could have done at that point. And she probably could have got Raleigh, a round or two later if she really wanted him.
Yeah. Well, with her getting Raleigh and then Sean immediately gets his guy Will Smith. That's his favorite. catcher, Will Smith. But then you see a running catcher, so maybe that was she was freaking out about. But you already have two catchers. You just if you're looking for a third catcher, you just do a speculative pick or get
Right.
Ivan Herrera later if you really need one. Ivan
Hmm.
Herrera has good on base. Cal Raleigh is gonna kill your on base. Sal Perez is gonna kill your on base. So yeah, they come with a lot of power, but this is an on base percentage league. The one thing I will say about Raleigh is that he does have a pretty good batting eye. He almost walks as much as he strikes out. And Rushman is just the goods in terms of plate approach and batting eye and all that. Sal Perez is a free swinger, so I will give her that. She did get three different batters, but I don't know. There's limited upside here with Cal Raleigh, and like I said, there was a lot of catchers there was a run on catchers in the next couple of rounds, so maybe that's what freaked her out. But you don't need a third catcher this early, I think. But I'm pretty sure she's gonna justify it as much as she wants to. But I don't know. I would never recommend this. This is even in a two catcher league. I can't do it. I would be doing everybody at the service. I'm like, yeah, pick three catchers right away, right now. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure I can hear. Well, you're the same guy that got ended up getting two starting pitchers back to back with red flags all over the place. Like I know, Aaron, I know. Devin Williams going on James's team. Uh, I think Devin is gonna have a big year this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think so.
that might have been that was one of my favorite little offseason moves that they got Williams.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're gonna pay him or not, or if he's gonna grow a beard or not. Like that was the best. You got one of the best closers in all of baseball, which solidifies their bullpen because now the Yankees already have a powerful bullpen to begin with. So everybody who can just play the role that they played last year, not have to worry about stepping up and be the closer this year, because you got one right
What
here.
did you think of this Santander pick at this point?
Where do I have Santander? Santander is my 18th best outfielder. Who else was Michael Harris? See, it just depends. Are you looking for power? Then you get Santander. If you're not looking for power, you want more of an all-around game but low floor all-around game, you get Michael Harris. And then if you really want to wait and you wanted to get a pitcher, to kind of combine with Aaron Nola, you wait around for Teoscar Hernandez, but obviously, Pino, not Pino, sorry, Handelboat gets him. But then what if Santander's still around? Maybe
Yeah.
Handelboat gets him instead. But yeah, if his idea was to get a right fielder, then that's fine. And he's playing for the Blue Jays, and the AL East is always a very hitter friendly division, very home run friendly division. It's not like he's playing out west, so I'm okay with it. Um, but I did have Michael Harris ranked ahead of Santander, so do with that information as you will. But as you can see, yeah, the Mike Trout, Ian Happ, Riley Green. So if Jacob doesn't think any of these guys are better than Santander, then that's how you justify that pick. So personally, I don't draft Santander. I'm not even looking at his direction. So plus I already have my outfield set pretty much with Jackson Churio and James Wood. So I'm not looking at him. Why? You think it's too early here or what for Santander, considering all the other guys that
I
were
don't think
selected here?
I don't think Toronto's a great park for him to be playing
Really?
games compared to Camden.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of his power comes from the left side. Camden has a much shorter right
Oops.
field.
Is he a switch hitter?
Yeah, he's a switch hitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oops. But the attractive thing is obviously the 35, 40 home run power. That's always going to be what attracts people towards him. Like I said, I mean, 44 home runs, but then I see the 308 on base percentage. And then in
Mhm.
2022, the 318 on base percentage. I don't,
18. Mhm.
yeah, 286. Yeah, he had 18 home runs in 110 games, but he also posted a 286 on base percentage. That's why I don't like him. That's why I don't like him. That's why, people can call me a hater all you want. Yeah, he comes with power. Okay, but then he's just the one-dimensional player. But, you know, maybe as the years go on, maybe he matures a little bit and then maybe this pays off dividends. So if he needs a corner outfielder, then it's the choice is I guess that's the choice to be making right there is Santander. Otherwise, if you're looking for the best outfielder available, you could have just gone with Michael Harris. But we digress. Back to back to back to back to back starting pitchers. Five consecutive starting pitchers go. Who is the worst of the bunch that you notice here?
Wow. Uh, I mean,
I'm
the
gonna.
worst of the bunch.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Throw your curveball there.
The worst of the bunch. I mean, the one I wouldn't draft in this group would have been DeGrom personally, just because
Really? Oh
I just
wow.
figured he'll be injured in like 3 weeks.
And yeah, in my rankings, I think I have Shota Imanaga as the worst of the bunch, just because
Yeah.
the upside is limited, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think
Right,
he's
but like I said, when you're thinking about who you're drafting, is ranking wise, yes, Managa's probably the worst stats wise, upside wise, but DeGrom is a total hit or miss.
yeah.
If he somehow manages to stay healthy for the first time in the last 5 years, stud. The chances of that happening at this point, from statistically speaking, doesn't seem like a good thing that's gonna happen.
I just to on the opposite side of the spectrum, the best pitcher drafted in the third round in this in these sandwich picks, it has to be
Mm.
Bryce Miller. That's the best value, and he's probably the best pitcher. Maybe not by rankings, but just by scope. I mean, he's gonna provide you the durability. He's gonna provide you the strikeouts. He has the stuff. He he has pretty darn good control,
Yeah,
and he was the last one of the group being picked here. So, yeah,
yeah, because I like Bibby too, but he's been hurt also,
yeah. And
and
there's some upside issues with him. Yeah, he's young, but he's kind of limited as well. And Imanaga, I just he's a two pitch pitcher as far as I'm concerned. I just that's to me that's a recipe for disaster. Here's a fastball, here's a splitter. Try to figure out which one's which. And a good hitter is gonna figure that out really right away, but maybe not right away, but relatively speaking, I guess. Michael Harris, the Atlanta Braves center fielder, goes to Angels team, so I follow up with my own Atlanta Braves uh, hitter, Ozzy
also.
Albies,
Hmm.
who I wanted to get in the sixth round and the other draft. I got him in the sixth round in this draft, so it works out. And we mentioned Teoscar, we mentioned Teoscar Hernandez, and then immediately uh, Handabo gets Luis Castillo. What do you think of that 1-2 combination of Framber Valdez and Luis Castillo as a starting pitcher, as a starting pitching duo there?
That's a nice one too.
Yeah, you're not concerned about Luis Castillo whatsoever.
I mean, he didn't have a great year last year, but I mean, he's done it before. The question is, if he's gonna settle back in there, right?
I asked because a lot of podcasts were so worried about him, and I actually listening to too much of that. All these podcasts kind of made me sour on Castillo as well, which I had him on most of my teams. I thought he did pretty darn good. I don't know what these people are talking about, but apparently there was velocity dips. Otherwise, I mean, 175 strikeouts and 175 innings pitched. You'll take it from a 33-year-old starting pitcher.
I mean, he got hit a little bit more last year. You can see the batting average is a little bit higher, but I mean, other than
Yeah,
that, I didn't think he had a terrible year. A lot of people made it sound like it was horrible.
yeah.
I
So
mean, but the innings were a little low. There's a couple little things, but nothing I would say that stuck out to me.
yeah. In 2022, he had 150 innings pitched. In 2021, in a bandbox, he got to 187 innings pitched. And then what's that? His rookie year, 2019,
Yeah.
he held his own that year and playing in a very awful environment for pitchers. Where's the game log? Yeah, and I looked at his game log, but he did get hurt at the end of the year. I remember that. I remember that. But I'm looking at the game log as well. Oh, it's not cooperating with me like I wanted to. But nine strikeouts and six inning pitch on August 23rd. Five strikeouts and seven innings pitch on September 3rd. So I don't know what the issue is. He only pitched three innings on September 8th, but by then it was pretty much over.
Mhm.
Oh wait, I got to go here. There you go. There you go. I got it. Nine. What did I say? Nine strikeouts. He did give up three earned runs, but nine strikeouts in six innings pitch on August 6th. That's pretty good. Seven strikeouts, no runs given up in six innings pitch against the Angels on July 24th. So I don't know what the issue is, man. But so yeah, he got himself a good one. Hannibal did, and along with Framber Valdez, he had two of the more reliable starting pitchers out there. I went with the more reliable closer and Edwin Diaz. I couldn't believe that he was still available. He's my number one relief uh, pitcher coming into this season, so I was able to snatch him up in the fourth/seventh, the virtual seventh round. But that cost me Pablo Lopez, who I that we had I had we talked about Pablo Lopez ad nauseum
Uh-huh.
Noah and I did. What's your take on Pablo Lopez?
Oh, I liked him. I had him last year at one point.
Yeah, he's easily the most underrated starting pitcher in Major League
Mhm.
Baseball. Has to be, right? There you go.
Yeah, I
Was it?
mean, again, he was pretty consistent for me. With all the injuries I had, he was one of my better starters last year.
Yeah, throws for a lot of innings, as you can see. Throws a lot of innings, gets a lot of strikeouts,
Yeah,
very low whip.
18 quality starts.
18 quality starts last year. The year before that was 20, and that's with all the rules that were benefiting offenses. Go ahead.
Hmm.
Oh, I thought you had something
Yeah,
to say. Go
I
ahead.
mean, his innings are great. He doesn't walk a lot of guys. Look at that walk to K ratio, 41 to 198 last year. That's a major as far as keeping you in there.
Yeah, so maybe I messed up. I shouldn't have gotten him. Maybe I should have gotten Pablo Lopez, but I already got Dylan Cease and Blake Snell. But looking back, maybe Pablo Lopez should be ranked a lot higher than what than I rank him right now. He's 17th on my list. But looking back,
Mhm.
maybe I should have put him ahead of guys like Jacob deGrom and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Tyler Glass now. Because yeah, this is not just a good upside, but a really high floor as well. Anyway, moving on. Jordan Westburg going to Mike's team up in Washington. Zach Gallen going to Andrew O'Sullivan. So he goes with a trio of starting pitchers in Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, and Zach Gallen. Little bit too risky for my blood up here, but Zach Gallen kind of melts everything together, and suddenly it doesn't look too risky at all. As there's another guy, Zach Gallen, who yeah, I had him on my points league last year as well, and he was really making me angry. But he did show up near the end of the season and kind of redeemed himself a little bit. So I know I was fighting to get him in the other category league that I'm in. Kyle Schwarber. I know Henry made a remark. I can't believe he was still there. Why was Kyle Schwarber drafted so late?
I mean, he's just kind of an all or nothing guy.
Yeah, one-dimensional power hitter,
I mean,
sure.
his OBPs. I mean, he walks a lot too. But I
200
mean,
strikeouts though, I think.
as a utility guy, basically at this point.
Yeah, a fantasy util guy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 197 strikeouts, which I guess it's down from the last couple of years where he was over 200 strikeouts. So that's a thing. Yeah. So yeah, he's cutting back on his strikeouts, but over 100 walks though. So I said one-dimensional power hitter, but no, if you want to include like the batting eye and the plate discipline, so I guess that gives him two dimensions. But he's not going to steal bases. He can't play the field,
Yeah,
and
you get a lot of walks, a lot of homers on the negative side. You're getting a lot of strikeouts.
yeah, and not a lot of doubles for a guy who can really hit for a lot of power. He has home run power, but not doubles power, which is always strange for me to see. But and then this is the best batting average you're ever going to see out of Kyle Schwarber. This is an anomaly last year.
Hmm.
248 is not common for him. It shouldn't be common for him. Anyway, on the opposite side of the spectrum, Luis Arias, he'll get you a batting average, and that's that he goes to Team Jet. Noah goes with a DH only guy and Brent Rooker. Excuse me. And then back-to-back pitchers with Spencer Schwellenbach and Sandy Alcantara, which, by the way, I was able to get both of these guys on my team in the other league. So the fact that they're split into two on two different teams is just weird to me because I ended up getting them on the same team from myself. Who's gonna have the better season, Schwellenbach or Alcantara? Be objective. I know you got Alcantara on your team.
I actually had them both in my queue at that point. So whichever one, I was happy to get one of them.
Mm.
But I've always loved Alcantara. Schwell, like I said, he's another really good pitcher. With a lot of upside, I think.
And he plays with a better team as well. The problem is that uh, he's still too young and inexperienced. So we'll see how he adjusts. And a young pitcher like that who throws it like he does, it's just a ticking time bomb before that arm goes out. Meanwhile, Alcantara, he already had the surgery, so you hope that that's all he needed with just the one surgery. But
Right.
as you know, even with after one surgery, these guys tend to get hurt. Uh, they still tend to get hurt no matter what. And he plays for a
We
really
we
bad
dis we
team.
discussed that.
Yes,
The
we did.
pitchers now are basically, you're going to draft guys, and then you're going to be scouring the waiver wires at some point during the season because your
That's right.
pitchers are going to get hurt.
Yeah, and then I think the pitcher, the safest option would have been Jack Flaherty. He goes to Aaron's team, so that's good. Before Jack Flaherty, Mike Trout was going to Sean's team to start out the fifth round. But yeah, if we want to play it safe, we would have gone with Jack Flaherty. You want upside, you get Schwellenbach, so I think Alcantara is somewhere in the middle, and it's very encouraging to see what he's done in the spring training this season. So, and then you go with Austin Wells as well, and again that's the guy to target. Besides Wilson Contreras, this is the guy to target if you miss out on some of the other bigger name catchers. You might as well just wait. But I forget there's Yankee fans in this. There's two or three Yankee fans in this league, so the waiting is not an option for Austin Wells in the virtual eighth round here. So nice job by you there.
Yeah,
Uh,
at that point, with the run on the catchers there that you saw, I just figured if I wanted to get Wells, I was gonna have to get him now because Henry was not gonna let him come back to me.
yeah, and as you saw, Henry said, "Okay, you got Wells. I'll get this Yanier Diaz guy." So he clearly likes him, and he went back to back with Shea Langoliers, which I don't know. I don't know about that one. If you're gonna, I was not targeting Shea Langoliers in any mock draft, in any of my real drafts. I don't want any part of this guy. But then you see who else was available, and it's almost like you might as well just keep waiting until the ninth or tenth round, where a guy like Logan O'Hoppe would have been available. Gabriel Moreno in the 11th round, JT Realmuto, maybe not Francisco Alvarez, but Kyber Ruiz. At least he'll get you a high contact rate. Shea Langoliers is just going to cause you low batting average, high strikeouts, and the occasional home run. At least that's how I view him. Am I too harsh there, or do you see it my way? What do you think about Shea Langoliers?
I mean, again, he's young, so we'll have to see if he makes some progress this year. But I mean, he's got some pop, and we'll see what else happens at this point. It's hard to judge some of these guys, and catchers are just
Yeah,
can be black holes sometimes. You just don't know.
that's true. Ian Happ goes to, of course, he goes to the Cubs fans, so he's gonna get all the Cubs players in this one. Brian Wu is teamed up with Tyner Bybee and Hunter Green on the Brewers fan Team Jet Poverty franchise. We move on to Big Dinger Energy. His fifth round pick was Riley Green, so interesting dynamic between Jackson Merrill and Riley Green, and I might say I might go as far as say I'm a little jealous, but then again, I remind myself that I do have James Wood and Jackson Churio, so I'm okay. But again, this is probably the steal of the draft. Wilson Contreras in the fifth round, especially at catcher. I keep telling you guys this was the guy to get. I'd rank him number three, but he was being ranked for a lot of guys, a lot of expert rankings for having him as a anywhere between sixth and ninth best catcher. So to get the third best catcher in my book in the fifth virtual eighth round is a huge win for Mike Harvey here. Hunter Brown going to Angels team, so he matches up Pablo Lopez with Hunter Brown. And then I go look around and I see that Marcelo Zuna is still available, and I say, okay, come on down, let's run it back. I know I had him in my points league last year en route to a
Mhm.
playoff spot, so let's see if we can duplicate that season that we did like last year. And then Brenton
I was
Doyle.
wondering at what point you were gonna draft Ozuna because we had that little conversation during the keepers thing about Ozuna and what we thought.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? We did have that
Yeah,
conversation.
we
Yeah,
did.
because I had oops, spreadsheet's going all haywire. Because Otani's number one, right? Easy, number one. Number two was Brent Rooker. Number three was Marcelo Zuna for DHs only, and Kyle Shore was number four. So Schwarber went ahead of all those other guys I just mentioned, except for Otani. Otani was kept. So
Hmm.
I thought this was a huge win by me. I got what I thought was the third best DH in the fifth round. So I'm okay with that. He was Yeah, of all the guys that were available, he was the best hitter available at that spot. So I'm happy with that. Brenton Doyle, uh, uh, you believe in Brenton Doyle this season?
I don't know what to make of him, honestly.
I'd
Uh,
rather not find out. Yeah, I agree with that
yeah,
one.
I was pretty happy that I was able to get Duran back in the from my team last year early in the draft there.
Yeah. Well, Hannibal, who's a Mets fan, goes with Mark Vientos. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. He has a lot of power, but again, the strikeouts are an issue. I go with Tristan Casas. Great plate approach, great batting. Listen, man, every pick I made is a thing of beauty. All right, I need to stop talking. Listen, I'll fine, fine. If you guys don't want me schmoozing over my own team, I'll have James comment on me getting Tristan Cassis in the sixth round as my primary first baseman. Go ahead.
I liked Cassis a lot, actually.
There you go.
I thought, again, he showed some more, some upside last year. That lineup is going to be interesting and what they're going to be doing with Devers at this point. Is he DHing? Is he playing first?
Yeah.
Obviously the best spot for Devers is probably the DH, but he doesn't seem happy with that.
Mm.
And it'll be interesting to see what they do with that situation.
Yeah, somebody should let him know that hey, you want to extend your career, start playing DH now. I was gonna use a derogatory term, but I probably shouldn't. We're all about body positivity in this house, right?
Big Poppy Jr.,
Big notorious Devers,
little Poppy, I don't know.
little puppy.
Little Poppy.
I took it further. Little puppy, little puppy Rafael Devers, who's still 25 years old, I believe. Josh Hader, that's a hell of a steal there for Angel.
Yeah.
And then Mike Harvey follows up with Felix Bautista, who's coming back from Tommy John surgery, I believe. So obviously the obvious choice here is Josh Hader over Bautista, right? He's
Yeah.
okay, just making sure. Andrew goes with Matt Chapman, who had himself a hell of a year despite circumstances dictating that he shouldn't have had a good year last year, but he did. He was kind of on the swoon, on the dip of his career for a while, wasn't he? And then he had a rebound year in San Francisco. You think he'll keep it up there with the Giants this upcoming season?
I mean, if you look at stats wise, you would say last year was an aberration.
That's what I'm thinking.
You
That's what
know,
I'm thinking.
it's always the return to the median type of thing.
Yeah, there it is with the Blue Jays. Yeah, he struggled with the power numbers, 17 home runs. He did get 39 doubles, so all
He
was
does
not
seem to
completely
like that
lost.
27 home run thing. He's done that. That was the third time he's done that.
Yeah, look at that. And
27
then
home runs, 70 runs batted in. The average was a little higher last year.
and then before that, he was hitting what
Yeah,
just
210, 230. So it was a little bit
36 there.
higher.
Yeah, the slugging percentage went up last year, interestingly
Mm.
enough. He got to 15 stolen bases. That's crazy. That's not, no. Yeah, I agree with you. Last year was an aberration, but we'll
Well,
see.
again, a lot of guys who weren't getting steals before with the new stolen base thing. You saw a lot more guys get 10, 12 stolen bases. Once you get the pickoffs out of the way, you got that extra jump, which helps guys like who are not the speedsters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But this is encouraging too, the 39
The
doubles.
39, like I said, the 39 doubles was a big, the thing that he repeated from the year before. But the home runs also went up, for 10, 10 more home runs.
Yeah. Yeah, and same plate discipline, plate approach, same thing. But yeah, I think there's a decline coming for Matt Chapman this upcoming season. So that's what I'm gonna go with there. We mentioned Shea Langoliers. I don't like that pick. The Bryce Terang, Brewers second baseman, going to the Brewers fan. So he has himself two light hitting infielders in Luis Arias and Bryce Terang.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I don't remember who he kept. But I'm hoping that he kept some power. Noah sees Bryce Terang, the Brewers second baseman, and he raises the Brewers ace starting pitcher, Freddie Peralta. Do we believe that?
Hmm.
Okay, just making sure. Uh, Jacob goes with Cody Bellinger. You go with Brian Reynolds, who I still say he's the safest outfielder pick to have.
This is where me and Jacob stopped being friends.
Well, you wanted Bellinger?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted him for, first of all, obviously, I think he's gonna have a big year with the stadium, but also because I love guys who can play different, who have different position availability.
That's true.
So, him being able to, him being already first center field and right, to me was gonna be a big plus with his production numbers.
Aaron goes with new Yankees player Paul Goldschmidt at first base, and then back-to-back closers for Sean with Raisel Iglesias and Andres Munoz. All right, let's change it up a little bit here. Is in the seventh round, is there anybody that kind of sticks out to you? negatively or positively. Starting with
Um,
Andres Jimenez all the way to Bailey Ober.
I mean, I don't love Wong.
Yeah. Yeah, what was Noah thinking there?
I mean, you could have gone Moreno, you could have gone Hop. Uh,
Yeah, all those guys are better. Where did I have Andrew Vaughn here? I had Connor Wong as my 31st best catcher. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't believe in him. He gets, yeah, 8 stolen bases are nice, but he also got caught 7 times.
yeah.
Yeah. And then last year was kind of fluky with a 280 average and the 758 ops.
Yeah, I mean, if he holds that 280 average, and he improves on it, I mean, OBP wise, he could be kind of a steal there, but I thought there were better catchers available at that point that I would have gone with.
Yeah, because there are better catchers available. I mean, like you
Right.
mentioned them already. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm not a fan of that one. Uh, for me, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, I guess number one, I surprised myself by getting C.J. Abrams because I don't always get him, but at that point he looked like he had the most upside at that spot in the seventh round, so I went after him. Matt McClain, I see that Henry sees it my way, but he goes with Matt McClain. He believes he's gonna have a big year, and so do I.
I almost took McLean instead of Bogarts. I
Ah,
was I was kind of like waffling.
yeah, there you are, Xander Bogarts.
Yeah.
Jake Berger was the other pick that kind of stands out. So yeah, we were wondering where the power was coming from, and it's coming from a guy named Jake Berger for the Brewers fan poverty franchise Jets
Mhm.
team going that route. But about in the eighth round, first of all, I mentioned someone center fielder. Oh, Michael Harris. I think it was Michael Harris. Riley Green. Who else did we mention center field? Doesn't matter. I get Luis Robert in the eighth round, virtual 11th round. I look around. He was the best player available in my book. So I just went ahead and pulled the trigger. So there you go. I get one White Sox player on my team. Might be the only one I get. But I think Robert's going to bounce back from the disastrous 2024 that he had, along with the entire team. If anything,
Mhm.
he's probably going to get traded onto greener pastures, and hopefully he'll rake wherever he gets traded to.
Wherever
But
he ends up.
oh God, let's see here. Luis Robert was my 16th, 17th best outfielder coming into the season. So now we got that out of the way. The Ryan Helsley goes in the as the first pick in the eighth round. Any draft pick in the eighth round that made you that you came away impressed with here? Starting with Christian Walker,
I mean,
although
Walker's always a kind of a solid pick there.
yeah, he's hurt for now, but yeah, he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do well with the Astros. And then obviously Jackson Holiday going to Sean's team because of course he does.
Mhm.
Uh, as far as the pick that impressed me the most was probably Christopher Sanchez. As Sanchez is one of those guys who just goes under the radar, and
Like,
I honestly thought, go ahead,
that's Christopher Sanchez, you
yeah, for the Phillies right here, the 8-4 pick here.
said? Okay.
I think that's the pick that impressed me the most. As yeah, he's improving every season, and he's trying to do the little things that will continue to keep him successful. And he's trying to increase his velocity, which would really make him dangerous and make him a force, a dominant figure there. So, yeah, and interesting enough, Joan Duran and Robert Suarez back-to-back relievers going there as well. In the ninth round, who do you hate? Starting from Xavier Edwards all the way down to Seiya Suzuki. Who did you not like in this round?
In the ninth round, let's see.
I got one.
I I am not a Rosarena fan.
Ooh.
I know, I've had him before, but also it just seems like his pattern now that I've experienced it also a few years is that he's gonna get off to a wonderful start and then he's just gonna disappear.
Hmm. Or vice versa. He's gonna go to a very bad start, and then he's gonna.
It's like he has two seasons every year. He's gonna get half a season of amazing hitting when he's hot, and then all of a sudden he just like forgets what he was doing.
You forgot the third persona, which is Captain Mexico. Suddenly he's the greatest player of all time, and God bless him for it. I love Randy Arozarena. He can never do any wrong in my book. You
Hey,
know, he
listen, he was amazing in that World Baseball Classic. I
oh
know
the
that
best.
brought him close to your heart, but you know he it is what it is.
He's definitely the I think I mentioned this before, but he's definitely the streakiest hitter I've ever seen in my life. Easily,
You know,
bar none.
again, he goes from just you can't he crushes everything to Serrano from Major League.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden he can't hit a breaking ball, no matter what he's doing. I would never throw him a fastball.
Yeah.
I would just never throw him a fastball.
All right, let's see. I want to test something. I want to check out Mike's team really quick. I have it down. There he is by rank. And was his alphabetical order? Oh no, these are by pick. Okay, cool, perfect. Looking for Mike Harvey's team. That's the draft. No, I wanted to see who his outfield is because he gets Alec Burleson. I think he's the worst pick in that round. Whatever that round was. Was it the eighth or ninth?
Ninth.
Thank you. I think that's the oh my God, and he has the Cardinals backstops as his two catchers.
Oh,
That's pretty nifty. He's a Cardinals fan after all.
okay.
Outfield, if you want to include O'Neal Cruz, he could play center field. Oh, there's Julio Rodriguez, Lars Nootbaar, Alec Burleson. Oh my God, he's like Noah. Jordan Walker. He picked all of the Cardinals
What
outfielders.
is he? Is he a Cardinal fan?
Yeah, he's a Cardinals fan and a closet Mariners fan because he lives in Washington. But he grew up in Indianapolis or Indiana or whatever, where he became a Cardinals fan. And he goes and gets all the Cardinals players. That's oh my God, why would you do that to yourself? No, no. You get one Cardinals outfielder and that's it, not the entire
It's funny because I think this is the
enchilada.
year where I have the most Yankee guys I've ever had on a team.
Uh-huh.
I usually only have like one or two guys because I try not to do that to myself for torturous reasons, but the draft kind of fell a certain way this year. And I ended up with the baby bombers, I noticed. And it was not the only one that I really planned that I wanted to draft was Wells. And I already had Dominguez from last year in my minor slot, and I
Right.
wanted Wells. And I was hoping to get Bellinger, but I was not planning on getting Volpe at all. At the point that I ended up just kind of getting him, but I try not to do that because it kind of tortures yourself, you know.
Thank you. That's what I was
It's hard.
explaining the other
It's hard
day.
to
Yeah.
enjoy your team playing when you're so upset about what their numbers are.
Exactly. And they will hurt you. Your favorite players on your favorite teams. That's what I talked about on last night's podcast when we were doing the live draft of the Mardi Gras Madness. And it's the same thing
Uh-huh.
it's the same thing I told Noah. Do I know it's a cool novelty, but no, if the fastest way to get your heart broken is by drafting your favorite players on your favorite team.
Yeah. I like I
Yeah.
said, I try and avoid that. I never do it on purpose. If the draft falls a certain way, I'll do it because quality. And I've traded, in other leagues that I've been in, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna trade a Yankee? You're a Yankee fan." I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to win a league here." I'm not-
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like how yeah, the Yankee fans will draft the Boston Red Sox fans. That's always hilarious. But hey
Who
man,
was my
I'm
first pick?
Jaron Duran, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even thinking about you. I was thinking about my other league
But I'm
mates
saying,
and my other yeah.
just case in point, it's like, who was my first pick? I drafted a Red Sox.
But yeah, I respect that. I want to win, damn it. I played to win the game.
Yeah,
But this
absolutely.
is too much. Like I like the idea of maybe one day Lars Nootbaar will pull things together and Jordan Walker will figure things out and Alec Burleson will become a thing.
Walker's one of those guys who I just thought was a can't miss dude. Watching him in the minors,
Everybody thought the same about
and
him.
I don't know.
Yeah, he seems to be damaged goods at this point. A post hype sleeper, and now he has a knee injury. I don't know, man. I it's just too much, man. It's just too many. And Alec Burleson, what is so special about Alec Burleson? I don't have him anywhere near like must draft player, except for the fact that he's a corner outfielder. Well, how would he do? Okay, he had 21 home runs. So last year was his career year, and we're gonna bank that happens again. He did all that, 21 home runs and 20 doubles and 100. He played 152 games, man. Get out of here. And it comes with a very low on base percentage and no steals. What are we doing? Good
Yeah.
batting eye. I'll give him that. He has a good batting eye. I'll give him that. Unless he's thinking that he's gonna take a step forward. But at age
I,
26,
I
this
mean,
is pretty
he got more
much.
playing time. His numbers went up. Will the numbers get better this year? Will they stay the same? It's,
And, and,
you don't know at this point.
and the Cardinals are very quick to pull the trigger on a guy. If they don't, if they see that you're struggling, they got outfielders waiting in the wings.
They have a lot of guys that they can plug in and out. So the question is, who's going to be playing on a daily basis? If
That's the other problem. Yeah,
you struggle a couple games, all of a sudden you get benched for another guy. They've got Gorman, they've got what's the other left-handed dude plays second also.
Brendan Donovan.
They just got like a bunch of guys that they can just kind of play, and they like to play with their lineup.
Yeah, that's the other problem. And they have a tight leash on these guys. They have a very short leash on all these guys. It's like I tell Cardinal fans all the time, don't get attached to your players. Not for fantasy purposes, just don't get attached to your players because they will get traded. They all get traded, bro. Tyler
Hmm.
O'Neill got traded.
Oh yeah.
I used to have the long list inside my head. Now I can't remember. Oh, Harrison Bader. Harrison Bader got traded. All these future Cardinals outfielders, they all got traded one way or another. And there was other guys that from Cardinals past that Cardinal fans were very high on, and they get traded away because that's what the Cardinals do, or they get benched and you never see them again. So no, I don't like this at all. Like you already got Julio Rodriguez, who we don't know what to expect from him, and then you got mid-level outfielders like Taylor Ward and a bunch of Cardinals players. This ain't it, bro. This ain't it. But then last year I criticized Mike Harvey for doing almost the same thing and playing it too safe, and he finished in third place last year. Um, So yeah, maybe I can knock it too much, but so anyway, that's the pick I don't like there. And also I gotta notice it, but Alexis Diaz, Blake Trinan, and Ryan Walker back to back closers going there in the middle of the draft there. Team Noah, Poverty Franchise, and King Putti all getting their closers there. Uh, can we agree that Ryan Walker is the best of that trio, right?
Yeah. I mean, he
Oh,
looked great. When he took over last year for Duvall, right? Was that
Camilo Doval, yeah.
Yeah, I remember he took over for Duvall because Duvall was just I don't know, he just fell off the cliff as closers do, as we discussed.
Yeah.
There's like an elite level of closer, and then there's that closer who's great for a year or two, and then if you get him on that year where he disappears, you wasted a pick, basically.
Who was the best left-handed pitcher taken here in the 10th round? Justin Steele, Carlos Rodon, or Jesus Luzardo?
Oof. Carlos, Justin Steele, Rodon, Zardo. That's a tough one. I
Uh,
mean, upside wise, it's probably I would say it's probably Lazardo. I really like his stuff.
yeah. Just he can't get it
Um,
together, man. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I had him where I was thinking of picking him also in this area, and he obviously he went. You know, Rodon pitched so well the second half last year. The question is consistency with him. To me, I
Yeah.
never liked the signing for New York because I think he's too emotional for the Bronx.
Mm.
He gets too hyped up at home. It seemed like he pitched better on the road.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just it's like an emotional thing with him. I like Steele.
Okay.
There's not a bad group of pitchers here, honestly.
Yeah. Rodon
Good
is the
part of the
best of the
draft.
bunch. I think Rodon was the best of the bunch at this spot. I know I have Steele ranked higher,
Hmm.
but I definitely would have preferred Carlos Rodon over Steele. I know I did have Rodon at the very top of my queue for a long time, and he finally got picked up by, I'm guessing Henry is there? Yep, Henry. So
Henry.
he went to the Yankees fan, so there was no chance in hell. Well, by then I had already gotten Jared Jones, so
Hmm.
I should have, and I definitely wanted Sonny Gray over Carlos Rodon. But yeah, Jared Jones was selected by me over Justin Steele, and then next thing you know, I read that Jared Jones got injured and was probably out for the season before the year started, which is a damn
Ugh.
shame. Sucks. Anyway, Yandy Diaz finishes up the 10th round, and starting the 11th round is Gabriel Moreno. We already talked about him. Um, You see a couple of guys wearing Yankees hat, relief pitchers, but obviously Clay Holmes is now a starting pitcher for the Mets. Luke Weaver, who's he go to? Oh, Team Noah. Okay. Luke Weaver going to Team Noah's team as a setup guy.
Mhm.
What do you think about Clay Holmes so far? Have you watched any Mets games and seen any of his starts, Clay Holmes?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible move to move him to starter. He's a sinker baller.
Hmm.
He kind of started in the minors originally, then they moved him to long relief, and then he ended up closing. The main issue with him closing is that, again, to me, sinker ballers lots of times to me are not great at short relief,
Mm,
only because the sinker ballers tend to get better the longer they're in the game because they get more sink.
yeah.
Sometimes when they first come out, the ball's high, and that was what his issue was closing when he wasn't tired enough. I guess he didn't warm up enough. His sinker would stay up and it would get smashed.
I
Uh,
would
is it
go
going to
ahead.
work? You never know.
It looks like it's been working. It looks like it's been working for the
Yeah, but
Mets. He looks
and
amazing.
again, see, and that's the thing with Holmes, and he can be lights out,
Yeah, I know.
and then he can be, gone, where all of a sudden he can't hit the strike zone.
Yep, I remember. Yep.
It's one or the other. Either he's completely on or he's completely off. And as a closer, that's volatile. As a starter, you could get seven great innings, or you could get two and a half.
Well,
I don't know how that's going to work out. We'll see. But
I
there was a lot of teams interested in him as a starter.
yeah.
I think, like I said, I thought, he would be somebody that, much like him and King were very similar when they were coming through the system.
Mm,
They've got that tremendous sinking fastball. And to me, if both of them, if they get past the first inning, if they come out pretty good in the first inning, the longer they're in the game, the longer they're going to be in the game.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
you touch them up early, you can get them out early. But if the sinker ballers tend to be if you let them survive the early innings, Kevin Brown, you
mhm,
know,
yeah,
if you got past the first or second inning, you were in for a long night because the sinker only drops more as the game goes on, generally with sinker ballers.
yeah. Victor Robles. He's probably the worst pick in this round, right? Let's see who else is there. Luis Garcia is there. Spencer Steer is hurt, so there's an argument to be made against him. And of course,
Mhm.
Angel, he was sniping me a couple of times in the other draft. He definitely sniped me here. Once again, he sniped me from getting Spencer Steer. So yeah, I'm done with Angel being next to me.
He got you in this one too.
Oh yeah, at least that one time. I've noticed any other ones so far. Um, but yeah, I think Victor Robles is easily the worst pick in this round, correct? Or maybe Michael Taglia. Oh, oh, that's awkward. You got Michael Taglia.
Yeah,
Awkward.
I like him a lot, so we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see, but I'm not gonna bank on it. I don't want
Hey,
to count on a guy I can't trust, and I don't trust him at all. Stephen Kwan going super late in the 11th round. Who's that? Who's he going to? Oh, Jets team. Okay, more contact hitters for Jets. Luis Arias,
hmm
Bryce Terang, Steve Kwan. Okay, I see you. I see you. But like we mentioned before, plenty of good catchers left, including JT Realmuto and Gabriel Moreno and Tyler Stevenson. If you're able to wait a little longer for him to heal up, but Stevenson has some sneaky production value to him. Um, we made okay. I guess we'll do this one. Who's the better shortstop in your book, Ezekiel Tovar or Zach Neto?
I like Neto.
Yeah,
I think he's got a lot more upside. He showed a lot of progress last year,
yeah, I agree. Yeah.
and speed. He's got that speed element to his game. Hopefully, he'll steal some more bases.
All right. Now I gotta ask you to be objective with this next question. Who's gonna have the better 2025 season, Anthony Volpe or Zach Neto?
Right now, it might be Neto. I mean,
Okay.
if Volpe looks good this spring,
Yes, he does. Yeah.
he reverted back to his older swing, which I didn't like what he was doing last year.
Hmm.
They kind of changed his swing on him, tried to get him to do a little bit more contact, but that was never his natural swing.
Okay.
He, so we'll see. But again, there's a lot of interesting young shortstops.
Yeah, that is true. That's why I kind of was willing to wait, but when Zach Neto was still around, I had to pull the trigger, especially after I dodged a bullet here with the Tovar pick by James. Hand the boat, not you, James, the other James.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had all three of them kind of going in this area here, and like I said, I was not planning on taking Volpe, but you guys kind of took the other two guys that I
oh
really
yeah,
liked.
look at you. You did end up with Anthony Volpe, and you
Yeah,
still okay. I see you. Okay, well
and
played, well played.
you know, you guys took the guys at the beginning of the round. I was like, God damn it! I was like, what are you guys doing?
Angel going back to back injured guys, Spencer Steer and George Kirby. Any update on George Kirby? Let's find out.
I think
Um,
he's out for a while now.
yeah, shoulder injury. He made
Oh,
20
16.
throws from 60 feet. So he was cleared to begin a throwing program on Friday.
Okay, so
Uh, no
he might not be
timetable.
out that long.
I'm sorry, what?
But he might not be out that long. He's already throwing. He's already
Yeah.
in his rehab.
So when Kirby will be ready to make his season debut, as the Mariners will have to see how he responds to the ramp up. Okay, so it just depends on what happens in the ramp up.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're encouraged, so we'll see. But uh, yeah, touch and go time there. Who was the best second baseman of this bunch? Well, it's we're going from right to left now. From Michael Garcia, Jonathan India, or Gleyber Torres.
I like Mickey. I think, he's got a good combination of speed, he's got some power to him. So he can add a lot of elements to you.
Hmm.
Is India playing second? I thought Mickey was playing second this year, from what I
Uh,
had
I
read.
mean, Michael Garcia has second base and third base eligibility for the
Mm.
Royals, so that's what I was going with. I
Oh,
Jonathan
okay.
Jonathan Indian's my guy though. Jonathan Indian is
Hmm.
I'm a big Jonathan India fan. I struck out on getting him in all my drafts, but yeah, if he's available and yes, he's tend to be dropped all the time. I'm definitely gonna see if I can fit him on my team. But what did he do with the Reds last year? Kind of a comeback season for him. Played 151 games, the most he's played since his rookie year in 2021. 15 home runs, 13 stolen bases. So solid
You
double digit, 28 doubles, big
got,
750 ops. Go ahead.
yeah, you gotta love that 80 walks.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, that's my guy, man.
Yeah.
I hope he figures it out this year for the Royals. I know Kansas City's a tougher ballpark to hit in, but so is the Detroit Tigers ballpark, Comerica Park. That's where Gleyber Torres went, and
Mhm.
I think he's in for a bad time this year. He's in for a bad time this year. Any other? Okay, here I'm looking for connections here, James, and I
Mhm.
see Francisco Alvarez and Kyber Ruiz going back to back at catcher for team. Who's that team? Oh,
That's
Jacob.
Wilpons.
Yeah, Jacob. Does he have any other catchers? No.
Yeah.
So he's gonna need another catcher. He ends up with Patrick Bailey, which that's not too shabby. It could be a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse for him. Um, so you got the power from Bailey, the contact from Ruiz, and he's just kind of waiting on Francisco Alvarez to come back from, I think it was a thumb injury or a wrist injury or a
Yeah,
hand
it's supposed to be
injury.
out like 4 to 6 weeks or something like that, if I
I
recall
thought it was
correctly.
6 to 8 weeks. Let's see
Or
what,
6 to 8?
I thought it was six
I
to
was
eight.
gonna
Yeah,
say
yeah.
6.
Look at that, 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, that was March 9th, though, so he's probably going to miss like 4 to 6 weeks of the season.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's also I can see that.
Yeah.
UC. Oh, it's his thumb. It's his lead thumb.
Mhm. Yeah,
Ooh boy,
it's the catcher mitt.
it's the catcher mitt and that's where the power stroke comes from too.
Hmm.
Ooh boy. Well, good luck to you on that one. Uh, Anybody else? There's Byron Buxton, back-to-back center fielders by back. I'm sorry, back-to-back center fielders picked by Aaron, and I am not a fan of any of those guys. Let's see, what does her outfield look like? It has to look a little bit better than Molina Applebum's.
Are they all Canadians?
No comment, but I doubt it. Yeah, she does not like the Canadian jokes right now. This is not a good time to be Canadian. I mean, it's always a great time to be Canadian, but no, current current political climate and all. Not a good time so far. Lourdes Gurriel, okay, I like that one. Not sure about this Tommy Edman pick, but he'll get you steals if he's starting every day. But with the Dodgers, you never know, right?
Hmm.
I just never know with the Dodgers. George Springer,
Well, I think
I
he's supposed to platoon with the right-handed center field guy. I forgot his name.
right-handed center fielder.
Yeah, he played last year for them.
Wait,
I think actually I picked him up.
it's not Andy Pajes, is it?
Yeah,
Is it? I didn't know he was right. I always pictured him as left-handed.
yeah. He murders left-handed pitching.
Oh,
He can't. He couldn't hit right-handed pitching last year, and that's why Edmund was getting at bats there. They would really like him to play both, but
yeah.
unless he improves against the right-handed hitters, it's like kind of a split from what.
All right, let's see. This thing is loading. I'm just kind of curious to see what you're talking about there. But boy, why is it so slow? Pay all this money for a high-speed internet, and it's like slow speed. This is ridiculous.
Everybody's on Fangraphs.
Maybe yeah. Fangraphs has so much information. Let's see. There's Conforto. There's Edman now, and there's Andy Pajes. Who? Oh, well, I'll be damn. He is right-handed.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know why I imagine him as being left-handed. Okay. And Edman is now playing second base. What? Did somebody get hurt?
hmm.
Uh,
Who's their second baseman besides Edmund? Because they
hmm.
traded the young guy. I don't even know who the hell they have.
Well, anyway, maybe Kike can play second base. Chris Taylor can play second base. So yeah, I could see why they would just rather have Tommy Edman, the speedster that he is. So okay, let's go back to Aaron's team. She also has George Springer at right field, which I'm pretty sure that was a late draft pick. So I
Yeah,
guess that's okay. Where is he? Oh, she also got Tommy Pham on that team. Holy moly. There we, oh my God, George Springer, 24th overall. That's crazy. And then she went to get Weiler Abreu, and I think she already dropped them. So
yeah.
what, she selected six outfielders? Why? That's so many. Oh my Lord. These people,
Six
man.
outfielders, three catchers, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh my Lord. Aaron, you're killing me here. Yeah. Well, hey, but listen, I'm not gonna quit. She's the former back-to-back champ, the inaugural back-to-back champion.
Back to
So,
back. Mhm.
yeah, back-to-back. I like that record. To this day, I don't know how Drake's back-to-back goes. How does it go? We're running it back-to-back, back-to-back. Yeah. And then he cries about a girl that he has no chance with. He's not like us. Anyway, is the pitching staff looking good? Okay, at least the pitching staff has numbers, so that's good. I like that. Actually, the pitching staff don't look too bad. Max Fried, Jack Flaherty. Okay. So maybe that's why she got all these outfielders because she knew that she was loaded at the starting rotation. But she did drop Weiler Abreu. I did see him on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
So that was weird. But anyway, it's a late round pick, so I guess that don't matter. But man, George Springer in the 24th pick. This luxury item. But nah, this isn't. Yeah, and then Brandon Nimmo was available. Oh no, it's the other way around. We're going backwards. Sorry. Anyway, we were talking about Byron Buxton and then Paredes, Nimmo, and Edmund. Okay. Well, she could have had Nimmo here in the 12th round if she really
Yeah.
wanted a center fielder, but obviously Buxton has a higher upside. But Nimmo's showing some things lately. Nimmo's finally stepping up a little bit. So we'll see if last year's an anomaly or if it's the real thing. We go to the 13th round just to see if we see anything in particular. Let's see, Jose Siri or Tommy Edman. Who would you prefer from an offensive standpoint? That's
I would take Edmund.
yeah, same. I agree with that one. We talked about Kyber Reese already. Oh, look at that. Who took the back-to-back second baseman? Luis Rengifo and Gleyber Torres. Oh, Henry. Henry taking back-to-back middle infielders with the 12th and 13th round pick. There's Jeremy Pena, back-to-back middle infielders. Who's that? Andrews team? Yep,
Hmm.
Andrews team. Okay. What else we got here? Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what I want to see. Zach Eflin, Jose Barrios. Once again, Angel going out of his way to get Jose Barrios. So, okay, you guys are just going to give me Max Scherzer and then Ronaldo Lopez on the back end. Who's the best pick in this bunch and why is it Max Scherzer?
Uh, I mean, Barrios has been the most consistent there, no?
Man, you okay,
I mean, Scherzer's one of those guys again, just injury wise is the issue. I mean, obviously, if you're talking about the best pitcher in the group, talent wise, it's Scherzer.
okay, thank you. Thank
But
you.
the question is again, will he be there?
You gotta believe, man. He got Barrios got a 94.1 score out of our league, but 153 strikeouts in 192 innings. So, I mean, obviously the volume thing is important, obviously, but yeah, this isn't it, man. 100, come on, pitch the contact pitcher from a guy who used to be more than that. Nah, bro. Nah, I don't think so. 21 quality starts, so he did kind of have a bounce back year, but we remember what he was doing before
He
all
learned
of
to
this.
pitch
Sure, he did. Sure, he did.
instead of just being a thrower. You know, you got to make adjustments when you get older there.
I will agree with you on that part, but yeah, he's oh, a strikeout per walk ratio below three. This ain't it, bro. I'm sorry, this isn't it. Not a fan. 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 Still, yeah, he's a pitch to contact pitcher at this rate. So good for him. He did get to 21 quality starts. I will give him that. He did get one complete game. I will give him that. But you could have it all. You could take him and run with it. I avoid Jose Barrios like it's going out of style. And Max Scherzer is killing it in spring training. Okay.
I
And he
totally
did,
understand that.
huh? What's that?
Hope springs eternal.
Yeah, you know what? And he had a pretty good showing last year. A 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 40 strikeouts and 43 in the third
Again,
innings.
when he pitches, there is no doubt that Max Scherzer is a stud.
I'm just saying,
That's
it's there, man. He
you
hasn't
know,
lost a step.
and again, see in this part of the draft where we are now,
Yeah.
taking a chance on someone like Scherzer is something I would do.
Scherzer's thumb
When
responded well.
DeGrom went where DeGrom went, I wouldn't have done that. I would have drafted DeGrom or Scherzer in this area,
Nah, but you're not gonna get the Grom this late. I mean, the market is the market, and the
but
market,
I'm saying there's no way I'm
yeah.
taking DeGrom that early.
That's what
With
makes the
the,
Scherzer pick so outstanding, man. Just say it. It's an outstanding pick by yours truly, man. It's
like
okay.
I said,
I won't hold it
if he's
against you.
healthy, absolute steal.
Scherzer on March 20.
I don't know if you want to put money on that if he's healthy then though.
Well, I am putting money on, putting all the money down. What are you talking about? What the well, what you mean? Four scoreless innings for Scherzer on March 23rd, allowing two hits and a walk while striking out four guys. The future Hall of Famer. I got a future Hall of Famer on my team, bro. Come on. Number three starter for a Blue Jays team. He can easily be the number one guy. He definitely has the intangibles to be the number one guy. Scherzer figures to have some minor workload restrictions early on. That's early. I can do early. When I need him is in September, bro, yeah, to stop Shohei Ohtani later this
There's
year.
the question.
They're building him up slowly but surely. Okay, that's what it is. Move on to the 14th round. We got a couple of back-to-back starting pitchers. In a lot of my mock drafts, I was targeting Ryan Pepiot, and somewhere between the mock drafts and the real drafts, there was a shift that started changing, where I started valuing Robbie Ray more than Ryan Pepiot, and of course Ryan Pepiot goes to the Rays fan, which is not surprising. I think he also Angel might have gotten to him in the other league as well. But I ask you, who got the better of the two, Robbie Ray or Ryan Pepiot?
I like Pepia.
Hmm.
I think that he's got a lot of upside there. Ray is kind of what he is at this point, no?
Yeah, coming back from Tommy John surgeries, but you know what to expect, and he did show some flashes of dominance last year too. Of
Hmm.
course, he would follow that up with like just getting absolutely nailed in his next starts. But yeah, there was like some 9 strikeout games there from a guy coming back from Tommy John surgery. I mean, that's
Which is kind of typical of that first, most guys that first part back from Tommy John surgery, they kind of are up and down.
yeah,
Usually it's kind of that second year, second half of that first year where they kind of start to find their
and it's
consistency.
you can see he got shut down in September, but July 24th is when he made his debut. 8 strikeouts in 5 innings. But then he followed that up with giving up 4 earned runs and four in the third innings on
Mhm.
July 30th. That's okay. August 4th, 9 strikeouts in 5 innings, 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, and then two thirds of an innings, 5 earned runs. But then he came back with 9 strikeouts and 6 and 2/3 innings, and then he got shut down after he pitched on August 25th.
Mhm.
Three innings pitched, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. So mixed bag, but the flashes of dominance are still there. And that's what I'm gonna bank on. And again, just listening to these podcasts, they're down on Ryan Pepio, and they make a good point. He's going to be pitching in a minor league ballpark, and he too comes with some walk issues. He does give up higher than usual amount of walks, so that is kind of concerning. But yeah, the upside is wonderful. I had him last year in my points league, and he was a godsend. I love them. I like them a lot, but I think Robbie Ray is just it's just too good to pass up on a guy who's going to be pitching in a gargantuan field in San Francisco compared to
Hmm.
Ryan Pepiot, who's going to be pitching in a minor league ballpark. So
Right.
yeah, so that was the only that was the big difference there. Yeah. So as you can see, and then you know what, James, you forgot my one number one rule about starting pitchers. Sometimes older is better at starting pitching. Sometimes, sometimes. So we move on. See if you notice any other trends in the 14th round as we make our way. Do we see anything similar? Or we see one. I see one. I see one. Mackenzie Gore, and that's you. Mackenzie Gore and Jeffrey Springs back to back. I think they're both left-handed pitchers, right?
Yeah.
So why Gore and not Gavin Williams?
That was kind of a toss-up, honestly.
Hmm.
But I really like Gore.
Okay.
I just think that he's been getting better. Uh, again, at this point in the draft, it's kind of like a lot of guys are kind of in that same mold, same range, either high upside or somebody with, like the guys you guys took there, where it was like they're older, but they've got some injury issues. They're coming back from this and that, so it's kind of like, are you picking upside? Are you picking experience?
Hmm. And
You
I
know,
just,
you got to kind of figure out what you want to do at that point.
yeah, I would have preferred Gavin Williams, and then whatever, whatever's left, even Kikuchi. So three left-handed starting pitchers available, and you went McGore and Springs. But I think I would have preferred, reaching for Gavin Williams and then coming back with Kikuchi in this spot because I think Kikuchi's going to have a good year with the Angels as the only semblance of pitching on that team. Yeah. Springs, I love Springs. I kind of like Gore, but the jury's still out on him, so I don't really fully trust him. But Jeff Springs, I think I know what to expect, but that's another issue. He's going to be pitching in a minor league ballpark, so it's just hard to tell how these dimensions will play out. And he's coming back from multiple arm injuries, so yeah, that's the risk you kind of take with a guy like Jeffrey Springs. But I mean, I can't fault it too much. I was targeting Jeffrey Springs super late in my mock drafts and things of that nature. Not in the 15th round though, but maybe around sometime after the 20th round. And then we get to the relief pitchers, and I gotta say, between the 13th round and the 14th round, a lot of relievers that I don't like. In the 13th round, oh, that's you. Oh man, this is getting awkward because I would have preferred getting Luke. Is his name Urseg? Lucas Urseg, I believe is the guy's name. Yes, Lucas Urseg from the Royals. I would have preferred getting him over Carlos Estevez. I think Urseg has the higher upside and the bigger strikeout potential, whereas Carlos Estevez is just out there, leaning on guile and craft and more about opportunity than actual skill set and stuff. But you clearly see it differently, don't you? You think that Estevez is going to be better than Urseg, or at least he's going to be the getting all the saves in Kansas City, right?
Well, either way, one of them's gonna get the saves, the other one's gonna get the holds, is from what it looks like.
Okay,
Estevez, I've had Estevez before, and even if he's not ends up the closer, he's gonna be the setup guy. And holds is a big thing with us here in this league
right.
as a category, and he got me a lot of holds last year. I won that category a lot because of Estevez.
Okay.
So either if he closes, great. If he doesn't, if he's the setup guy, either way, I kind of figured. I'm getting one thing or the other from him, and he's been consistent in that role, which is one of the reasons they brought him in.
And I would say the best relief pitcher selected here, regardless of role or situation, um, I guess between the 13th and 14th round, because Jordan Romano's no, absolutely not. You can't get Jordan Romano this year. No way. But of course, Aaron picks him because he used to wear a Blue Jays hat. It's the only way that makes sense because there was a lot of good. If you're just looking for closers only, Jeff Hoffman was available, and she's in her own backyard. Hoffman is in her own backyard. If you wanted the Blue Jays reliever or closer, that's the guy to get. But she went with the old Blue Jays reliever who's now with the Phillies, and He can't stay healthy. There's also AJ Puck and Trevor McGill, who I also think are better than Jordan Romano. Um, so that, but the best reliever, regardless of role, in the 13th and 14th round, and probably in the 15th and 16th round, there's an argument to be made there, is Cade Smith. And I was so pissed off that. And of course, Sean would be the guy to get him. For those who don't know, Cade Smith is just a dominant relief pitcher for the Cleveland Guardians, who I believe he threw for 100 strikeouts last year from a relief role. Let's see, let's find out, see if I got that right. 103 strikeouts in 75 innings pitched in his first full major league season. That's just nuts, man. That is crazy. I mean, just I can only imagine some of the Herculean games that he had with the Guardians last year. Guardians have a really good bullpen, by the way. Really good bullpen. So, yeah, if Clase falters, he's in big trouble because they got some guys. Look at that. Look at that. Three strikeouts, two strikeouts, two strikeouts, two strikeouts. All this guy does is strike out guys. It's amazing. And Sean got him. And I'm really peeved about that because I had targeted Cade Smith in a lot of my mock drafts, thinking I can get him super late. But then, I got Sean, who's just like me, thinks highly of relief pitchers. So anyway, so we talked about Gavin Williams. We talked about Jeff Springs. I think Jeff Hoffman would have been the closer to get in the 14th round if you're looking for a primary closer. Mason Wynn. Who got Mason Wynn? Oh, Jed got Mason Wynn. So another contact guy. There's a Jake McCarthy, another contact guy. Jose Siri, not so much, but stolen base guy, yeah. So he's looking, he's playing like it's 1925 and not 2025. I can see that. David Benner is just not good. Who got him? Oh, Henry, you're killing me here. You got Robert Suarez, Ryan Walker, David Bednar. One of these is not like the other. I'm not a fan of this. I used to be a fan, but no, he's on a decline, man. I don't like what I see, what I've been seeing from David Bednar lately.
No,
Unless,
he kind of fell off a cliff last year, unfortunately for me.
yeah,
Because I did have him.
and I recommended him on this podcast. Why draft a closer early? We can get David Bednar and Jordan Romano and Paul Sewald super late, and that answered my question. That's why you don't wait for closers, I guess. So that's why I got who the hell did I get here? Edwin Diaz, right? Can we agree that Jackson Profar is the better outfielder compared to Lars Nootbaar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
This Ryan Jeffers pick was really pissing me off because I was hoping to get him, and of course Angel took him. So I saw Sean get Kate Smith, and I said, okay, enough of this. I'm gonna get the guy I've been coveting throughout this offseason. This is the guy. I loved him last year. I'm gonna get AJ Puck, and of course, Hannibal gets Trevor McGill from the Milwaukee Brewers. So he gets the primary closer, but I think is going to be the best relief pitcher from Arizona, and they'll have no choice but to give him the closer's role. And if they don't, at least he'll get the strikeouts and the holes that I've been wanting. And I'm kind of biting my lip here because I'm nervous that Hannibal's going to steal my guy. Interestingly enough, I never felt threatened by Hannibal getting any of my guys in this draft. I did feel threatened by Angel, but not by Hannibal. And he goes with Tyler O'Neill, which not a fan of that one, but I did get Ryan Mountcastle. Now, this is going to cause controversy because I've been the biggest Ryan Mountcastle hater for the last couple of years. But while I
uh,
was doing my mock drafts this offseason, I kind of started loving the idea of waiting around at first base because Ryan Mountcastle is going so ridiculously late in these drafts. And I figured, well, shoot, I could wait late in these drafts for Ryan Mountcastle. Why not? So I already got Melvin calling me out like, "Oh, I thought you hated Ryan Mountcastle." Like, well, wait, I'll tell Melvin when I see him. But this was the same thing that Sean used to try to get me on. It's what I think it was the 2022 or 23 off season around this time, James.
mhm.
And I was after the last couple of years of telling folks that yeah, the catcher to get is Salvador Perez. Yeah, he's going early, but he's gonna provide you the most lift at the catching position. You got to get Salvador Perez. So the following year, I go, yeah, if you can fade Salvador Perez, that'd be good. Don't draft him early. He's not worth it. So of course Sean comes all over me. He gets all over me like, oh, I thought you loved Sean. I thought you loved Salvador Perez. You were out on him so much last year. What? You just changed your mind. You saw the light. Like, no, man. And I asked him, what year is this? Well, it's 2023. Okay, what year was it last year? 2022. Okay, Salvador Perez. around this time of year in 2022 was the guy to get. In 2023, he's not the guy to get. And it's the old adage. It's not that I hate certain players. I don't like their average draft position. I don't like their ADP.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it's where you can get a guy, obviously. It's in comparison to other things.
Yeah, that's really what it is. And I've been trying to be more open to getting players who I dislike. And I'm starting to learn that it's not that I don't like them, because Ryan Mountcastle does come with baggage, like low on base percentage, and he looked awful the last couple of years. Like the power numbers were just not there. But I realized, hey, that maybe that's not his doing. That's the Orioles messing up the walls and trying to benefit their pitchers. And I hear that they're going to move the walls back in. So
Yeah, they changed some of the dimensions back, I know, because I mean that left field was ridiculous. Not only did they make it so much deeper, but they put the high, they made the wall higher.
yeah, the Great Wall of Baltimore, whatever it's called. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm expecting a big bounce back year for Ryan Mountcastle in the 16th round, virtual 19th round. I get Ryan Mountcastle in all my leagues because the upside is still there. I think he's like 28 years old still. Uh, just to double check, where is it? 28 years old. Okay, he just turned 28 in February. And again, the walk he's I don't think the walks are there. Yeah, 27 walks. But I see that his strikeouts are dropping. So, because this guy, yeah, 161 strikeouts, 154 strikeouts. That's a little high. That's what I hated him. That's what I did not like about Ryan Mountcastle for the longest time. Low
Well,
on base percentage, high strikeouts. Now
it's a
he's
little,
dropping the strikeouts, and
the
the
strikeouts came down, but also the at-bats came down. So it's a little correlation.
yeah, that I can see that. But
Strikeout to walk ratio.
exactly. I agree. I agree. But I'm banking on the fact that they're gonna utilize him more, and the outfield is back to quote unquote normal for Baltimore standards. So maybe 13 home runs turns into 25 home runs this upcoming season. And he continues to lower his strikeouts, maybe increase his walk rate a little bit, and maybe if he gives me a 315 on base percentage with a 430 slugging, I'm happy with that. So we'll see how that works out. Plus, it's first base. Who cares? First basemen are they grow on trees, right? Is that how it works? Go to the first base.
I mean, he's not your primary first baseman either. You have Casas.
I forgot. In this league, you are correct, sir. I do have Tristan Casas, so good observation. I completely forgot. So I guess he's my corner. Ryan Mountcastle's my corner infielder or
Hmm.
my util guy. Which, come on. Anyway, we move on. Lane Thomas or Helio Ramos as your center fielder. Who would you prefer?
I like Lane Thomas.
I like Ramos. I like Ramos this year, but yeah, Lane Thomas has the track record, and Ramos has the prospect pedigree. But he took forever to establish himself in the majors. Let's move on to back-to-back starting pitchers: Bowden Francis or Taj Bradley. I think I would prefer Taj Bradley. If you want to
Yeah.
include, what about Tanner Hook? You want to include him as well? Of that trio, who do you like?
I still like Bradley.
Okay, good enough. Back-to-back closers, Jeff Hoffman and Kenley Jansen going to Jacob's team. So how many any already got? Well, Clay Holmes is not a relief pitcher per se. Okay, see, Jacob knows how to play this game. Hoffman, Jansen. It's that simple. Don't get Jordan Romano. Look at that. Jansen and Hoffman are still available. And of course, Aaron must be just doing this to piss me off. She got Jordan Romano in the 14th round, then it gets Kyle Finnegan in the 16th round, I think he's easily the worst closer of all the relief pitchers to have the closing position locked down. He's easily the worst one of the bunch. So, is that how you see it? Who's the worst closer in your book?
Of what of all the closers right now?
In the top 30, I guess. Just think of all the closers that are out
I
there.
wouldn't have touched Romano this year at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, to me, I wouldn't have touched Romano this year at all.
Yeah. I finally completed my rankings here, and mine's are a little weird because I included saves and strikeouts just to give me some differential. That's Emmanuel Clase is ranked number 7 because he doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but these other guys do. Uh, Edwin Diaz, Josh Hader, Mason Miller. But there's Jordan Romano, number 29. Calvin
I don't
Foucher
even know who that is.
for the Marlins is 30th, but I At that point, that's the Marlins. Who cares? He's not gonna get a lot of save opportunities, and I could definitely see a revolving door. So I guess by default, this guy is. And I
Hmm.
guess I lied about Kyle Finnegan. Where is Kyle Finnegan? I don't even see him anymore. Oh, there he is, 24th.
Okay.
But only because he actually has a role locked down. So you gotta account for that. But Chapman, I don't know if he's closing. Estevez, I don't know if he's closing.
Chapman
Hendricks,
won that job.
okay, he was awful in the spring. So there's a lot of
Yeah, I mean, again, Chapman is Chapman.
a lot of red flags. Kirby Yates, he's with the Dodgers. He's not the worst, but the situation is really bad for Kirby Yates, and he has Tanner Scott up here too. So yeah, I guess Jordan Romano would be the worst, but Finnegan's right there with him. So yeah, so you got two worst closers on the same team. That's not how you play ball, man. I'm sorry, Aaron. I love you, but no, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. Anyway, uh, Cedric Mullins and Evan Carter going back to back to Sean, which I guess the next question is who's the best outfielder of this bunch? Mullins, Carter, Adolis Garcia, or Sedana Rafaela? I know you got Garcia in this 17th round, but try to be objective if you can.
I liked Carter from this group, honestly. I was kind of hoping he was gonna sneak through there, but
Yeah. Hopefully uh, his back problems don't hurt as much. But yeah, this is what I mean about left-handed hitters. That's why I try to avoid left-handed hitters because they get easily neutralized by left-handed pitching. I think even Reed Detmers can stop Evan Carter from getting hits.
well, to me, left-handed hitters, especially when they're young,
Hmm.
it takes them a few years because there's not a lot of left-handed pitching in the minors. A lot of left-handers tend to move through quickly and into bullpens, so you don't
Yeah,
get a lot of exposure to those big, nasty left-handed breaking balls until you get up here, and then it's like, what is that thing?
yeah.
So the better ones, the better prospects will start to hit it after a couple of years. They get more experience with it. They get to see more left-handers. So we'll see if he makes that progress or not this year, basically.
Nico Horner going in the 17th round, virtual 20th round. And I just want to point out, so far, Horner, although I don't know why his color is different than Bryson Stott, even though they play the same position. But yeah, you got Christian Campbell, Bryson Stott, and we'll end it there. I still think Horner was the best, even though it's a homer pick by Noah. I still think he's the best option in that 17th round compared to the other guys that were taken. Do you agree, or would you have preferred
Yeah,
going with the
I would have
youngster?
taken Horner.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot to like about Christian Campbell, which I think that's Henry's pick. Yeah, it has to be. Yep, there he is. So of course, that's the prime example. Yankees fan getting a Red Sox. Not the first time that Henry has gone out of his way to get a Red Sox prospect. I think the first time noticed that about him was with this guy, Sedana Rafaela.
Is Campbell going to be starting? Because I thought he wasn't. He didn't have like a job at this point.
No, but he hot shot prospect. Let's see. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, look at that. Has earned a spot on Boston's
Yeah.
opening
No, I know
day.
he's earned on the spot, but I didn't know if he was going to be starting.
Right. That I
Oh,
just
okay.
realized that.
Likely starting in as the starting second baseman. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because then you gotta rely, if you're not him, then you rely on guys like Trevor Story or David Hamilton. I know Sedana Rafaela is a very versatile player, but do you really want to see more of Sedana Rafaela? No, not really. David Hamilton, he could fly though, man. But either way, it's a win-win for the Red Sox, so good job for them noticing that. And let's finish up with these pitchers here. Nate Eovaldi, Nick Pivetta, Shane Baz. Obviously, I picked Pivetta, Shane Baz by hand the boat, and I forgot who picks Nate Eovaldi. Oh, that's Melina Applebaum, which is Mike Harvey. Who was your favorite guy of this trio of starting pitchers here?
I actually like your guy.
Damn right you do. I like my guy too.
I'm,
First of
I'm
all, go ahead.
I'm not a big Evaldi guy.
Yeah, I'm done with Eovaldi. I'm done.
Baz again. We're back to the whole little league ballpark thing, and he's a fly ball guy, if I recall correctly.
And he's just been struggling to stay healthy, and the Rays have a short leash on him for some reason.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you're a pitcher, don't go to the Rays, man. They will finish your career. How old is he now? I think he's 26 now. 25, okay. But yeah, man, he did get to 14 starts, so good for him, but it's always something. I mean, 69 strikeouts and seven. This is not what we were expecting from Shane Baz. We were expecting major upside from that guy. So obviously the controls there, I think 69-27. Yeah, that looks like a 3-to-1 ratio. Yeah, that's a three. Is it? I'm kind of questioning myself.
Yeah, that's about.
No, it's not. Oh, I
No,
am
it's not. No, no.
2.5 walk. Sorry
Mhm.
about that, folks. 2.5 strikeout to walk ratio. So not what you expect from an uber prospect like Shane Bass. So, and I'm done waiting for him. I don't want to deal with that anymore. So, not that I had him on any of my teams ever in my life, but it's a mirage. He's a mirage. Uh, Hand the boat waited so long for catcher. He got Sean Murphy and then Mitch Garver in the 20th round, and then he finished with Henry Goodman. I believe that's his name, Henry or Hank Hunter. Sorry, Hunter Goodman. So this might just be the worst catching situation. So
And Murphy's out.
and Murphy's out for the first month or so, and he got Murphy, and I was afraid that, oh crap, I think he. But once I saw he got Mitch Garver, I wasn't too worried because I wanted Drake Baldwin because he's gonna get the starts in Murphy's absence,
Hmm.
and it looks like he's might be the real deal here in hitting. But we know catching prospects will. The only thing that will break your heart more than your favorite player from your favorite teams on your fantasy teams are catching prospects. So there's that. But I was worried for a bit. But once I saw that he got Mitch Garver, I was able to take it easy. But I'm surprised he didn't get him. I'm surprised nobody else got him. I was able to get him in the other categories league too. It just did you know about Drake Baldwin? Do you know who he
Yeah,
is?
I was thinking of picking him late, if he
Okay.
was still around.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering about that because yeah, he went. I can't believe he was in a league that's
Yeah,
starving for catchers.
listen, I always do a deep dive on the catchers that are like moving up,
Yeah.
just to kind of see, watch injuries, so I kind of saw the Murphy thing, so I was kind of surprised, that's why Murphy dropped so much, obviously because of the injury.
Yeah. So your catchers are Austin Wells, Bo Naylor, and Miguel Amaya. So knowing what you know now, Sean Murphy, Mitch Garver, Hunter Goodman, you- do you think that justifies Aaron's strategy at the beginning where well, she already kept Adley Rushman. She got Salvador Perez early and then Big Dumper, what's his name? Cal Raleigh early. Does
Mhm.
this justify her picking these catches early, or do you think,
So to me, once she had the first two, I would have waited.
yeah, right?
I
That's what
mean,
I'm thinking.
she could have gone like high prospects, for the third one. You didn't need that third,
Yeah,
And to me, catcher is one of those positions where, if you can get two good guys, that's great. And then if one of your guys gets hurt, you can pick up the backup in most cases.
right.
Because most guys aren't taking the number two catcher on a team.
Yep.
Unless it's a shared thing and you need a catcher,
Yeah.
you're not picking up the backup catcher who's only playing once or twice a week.
Right, right.
So you can always kind of pick up that, the backup guy.
Yeah, I like a little variety from my team and me picking the same two catchers on a two catcher league. It doesn't sit right with me. I know why people do it because, well, you're actually getting two catchers, so someone's always going to be starting. But yeah, I guess. But no, I don't know. There's an art to it, is what I'm saying, James. There's an art to doing this the right way.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't start the two catchers from the same team. I mean, if you want to have one because the guy's like injury prone or something as a backup, if you want to do that with the roster spot, I can see that. But if you're starting the two guys, you're really losing at bats for the week
Right.
because you're only getting, 7 days of at bats where you can be getting, your 10 to 12 days of at bats.
Yeah.
If you got two guys from two different teams, so you're really
Yeah.
giving up, opportunity.
And it's definitely a volume game as well.
Mhm.
Best infielder. We're gonna go with this. So I got Joey Ortiz, Nate Lowe, Nolan Shenwell, Nolan. I think that's the name. Nolan Shenwell,
Yeah.
Willie Castro, or Michael Bush. Who was the best of the bunch there? So Joey Ortiz went to me. Nate Lowe went to Angel.
Hmm.
I believe that's Mike Harvey's team. Yeah, I think that's Mike Harvey's team with Nolan Shenwell,
Yeah. I kind of like low here, consistent,
Willie
but
Castro.
I mean
Okay.
Castro's extremely versatile.
Yeah.
If you're looking to fill out your end of your bench for somebody who you can plug in at for any injury.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the league in the draft last night, where Primo, well, you know who Primo is. He's in the
Yeah.
basketball league. He did ask me, "Hey, is it me or is the CBS Sports getting a little too strict with the position eligibility?" Nope, that's a Major League Baseball thing. Teams have realized that they just want guys who could play maybe one, maybe two positions, and that they play him very well as opposed to a guy who could play anywhere as a utility player off the bench. So Willie Castro qualifying at all these positions, that's a rarity these days. Yeah, and he was onto something and he called it. Yeah, why isn't what happened to all the guys with multiple eligibility? Like they're not there because that's not what teams want. Real major league teams don't want that. And the problem with Willie Castro, no, actually, for 158 games, lack of power there, but respectable 717 ops from a guy like him. Double double guy, 31 doubles. Actually, there's nothing wrong with Willie Castro. What am I talking about? I guess the upside is limited with the 12 home runs and 14 stolen bases, but it's a decent floor for a guy with multiple eligibility, and he'll be playing everywhere for the Minnesota Twins, a good Minnesota Twins team, so that's not too shabby. Nate Lowe, change of scenery. We'll see. Going to Angels team. I forgot who I was talking to. Noah did not like Nate Lowe whatsoever, but we do have to account for the fact that the Rangers is a pitching paradise. Their new ballpark is. So maybe a change of scenery for Nate Lowe will do wonders. And Joey Ortiz is my guy, man. I love Joey Ortiz, and he might end up playing all over the field, shortstop, second base. So he might have dual eligibility, and he also comes with high upside in terms of home runs and stolen bases and things of that nature. So Eric Getty is better than David Peterson, I believe. Gavin Jackson is better than Aroldis Chapman, I believe. And then Clark Schmidt, Mitch Keller, Michael Wacha, Luis Gil, Ranger Suarez, couple of injured guys here. I guess the best starting pitcher was Clark Schmidt. It has to be from this group of three guys right here. But is Clark Schmidt the best pitcher here or no?
From those three, yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Brian Abreu. Okay, finally, Aaron picks a good relief pitcher. Good. I like Brian Abreu. It's another guy who can throw 100 strikeouts in 1 year from the relief pitching role. And speaking of multi-eligible guys, there's Jose Caballero, stolen base extraordinaire. Just call it out. If you see a name that you like, just call it out, man. Because I'm trying to wind down here.
Cano's a really good hold guy.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't have the most exciting stuff, but that changeup could be deadly for sure. I love Cole Keith. That's why I picked him on my team, and I wasn't thinking about him. But then I looked around, I changed my mind, and I'm actually happy I got Cole Keith in this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
he helped me a lot last year actually.
yeah,
Um,
good.
for certain stretches there, he got hot when I had some injuries. He's going to be playing first, I think, this year.
First base, oops. At one point, he was qualifying at third base,
Yeah,
definitely
last year he was
second
qualified
base.
at second and third.
Yeah, that's what it
I
was.
think
Okay,
I think he played some outfield for some
that'd be
reason
great.
last
Fantastic.
last year, I think.
And this is only his
But
rook.
I think he's going to be the primary first baseman, if I read correctly the other day.
That sounds about right. I think I've heard the same thing too. Uh, and 148 games, they trusted him and to kind of figure things out on his own. 13 home runs. I know the triple slash line isn't impressive, but you gotta chase that upside, bro. You gotta chase the upside. The Tigers love him, and I think they didn't, they trusted him enough to kind of fail and baptism by
Mhm.
fire, and
Yeah, I
The
mean
Tigers have
they're
options.
clearly high on him.
And the Tigers have options, man. They didn't have to do all that. They didn't have to find playing time for him because they gave up on Spencer Torkelson, but Torkelson was really bad. So Cole Keith,
Torkelson's oh my,
huh?
what a cliff dive.
Yeah, but we're gonna run to that well one more time. We're gonna run it back with Spencer Torkelson. I know I did on the Mardi Gras League last night. I think I got him in this league as well, or maybe no, I think I missed out on him. But I was thinking about it. I was really thinking about it. But no, but they never gave up on Cole Keith. Look at that because they do have
Yeah.
options, and
Yeah, no, I had Keith
yeah,
and McKinstry last year
Zach
at one
McKinstry, right?
point.
Yeah, and
He
he
was
could.
eligible at like every position except catcher, I think.
Cole Keith's projections, yeah, 754 ops. Who says no to that from a second baseman? Who says no to that? I'm not. That is Cole Keith, right? Yeah, Cole Keith, 754. Projected ops, and what about the other stuff? Decent walk rate. Oh yeah, 325 on base, 429 slugging. So the projections are banking on improvements this year. So
Mhm.
you got to chase that. You got to chase it from a second baseman because yeah, that's that. Yeah. Anyway, We talked about Mitch Garver, Danny Jansen, Jonah Heim. Here's the the run on catchers once again. Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Rushing. Anybody else? No. Uh, I gotta ask you. I've been asking you who the best of the bunch is, but let's face it, Danny Jansen's the best of the bunch, right, my guy? Let's just say yes. Who's the worst of the bunch in your book?
I mean, it's got to be the Garver or Heim. I mean, Heim is giving you power. I mean, is Garver even catching this year, or is he DHing? What is he
Well, as
doing?
long as he qualifies, bro, that's all we care about. He qualifies a catcher, but I think he should be catching full time. Because I think was it Kyle Ishii, the former Yankees guy, Kyle
Higgins
Ishioka,
there.
Kyle
Is that
Higashioka.
where Higgins went?
Yeah, Jonah
Yeah,
Heim.
yeah. Okay, so they were talking about that being like an even split.
It is an even split, 333, 315 plate appearance. That's what the
Yeah,
projections say. So I can see the concern there. And yeah, then this isn't gonna cut it, man. 676 projected OPS, 673 for Higashioka. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
This kind of area is kind of starting to get into the catcher platoon area,
yeah.
and
And I
like
mean,
you're hoping to get the best side of the platoon.
yeah, and maybe Higashioka might have been the better choice here, but I mean, we're talking about maybe 2 games a week, if that. Maybe 3 games a week, and then the other 4 or 5 are for Jonah Heim to do whatever he can.
Yeah,
But yeah,
because
he's lacking though. He's lacking. Go ahead.
if you're going full lefty righty split, you figure Heim gets more at bats.
Yeah, and he's a switch hitter too. So, but
Right.
no, I avoided Jonah Heim this year. I did not want to partake in any of that. So yeah, Jonah Heim's easily the worst one. I think Danny Jansen's the best one. Danny Jansen is a skinnier version of Alejandro Kirk. Last I checked. No, I'm joking. But I don't know, man. We've been waiting on Alejandro Kirk, and Danny Jansen just continues to put up decent contact rates, and he's my catcher until Tyler Stevenson comes back. Oh, but wait a minute, Danny Jansen's also hurt. So much for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, a pulled rib muscle. So
Well, he's supposed
fantastic.
to be back. Looks like he's supposed to be back pretty quickly, at
Yeah,
least.
we'll see about that. Nick Lodolo is better than Trevor Williams. I'm not sure about Luis Severino, and then Sean Manaea going to Ponzi's.
The
Yep,
punts.
Jacob. So that's a good, even though it's a homer pick, I like that pick. And then Drew Rasmussen, who, wow, man, I'm not touching him. And I know that's Sean's guy. Look at that, Mitch Keller, Michael Wacha, Drew Rasmussen. I think I like my starting rotation better than Sean's. I can say that much. But is Nick Lodolo was Nick Lodolo who is Nick Lodolo better than, or do you not think Nick Lodolo is better than any of the guys that
I
went
mean,
here?
Lodolo's stuff wise could be
Mm,
great.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at pure stuff, I mean, Sabrina and Manea both had, good bounce back years. Will that last? I mean, he's on the A's at this
Severino
point.
is.
Like you
Yeah.
said, we're talking about that park. Uh, yeah, I mean, I would say Lodolo makes sense to me here.
Yeah. I would still prefer Sean Manaea as a surefire thing, even though he's hurt. I'm willing to wait for Sean Manaea to come back for sure. Because I do like him a lot. So uh Sean mysteriously gets Justin Martinez. Wow. How do you go from Kate Smith to bum ass Justin Martinez? I don't like Justin Martinez at all. Not one bit. So not a fan. And then I mentioned Michael Lorenzen, probably my worst starting pitcher on my list. Let's see, who is it? He's the okay, not maybe not the worst, but definitely an afterthought on my spreadsheet on the other side, on the other screen. Chris Morel and Tyler Fitzgerald, they're pretty much the same player, right? Do you agree with that
Yeah,
statement? Okay. There's Hunter Gaddis. We talked about the Guardians having a loaded bullpen. Here's another reason why. And then who's this guy? Who the hell is making? Oh my God, Jet. That's all he does is pick relief pitchers. And that's gonna be his strategy. He's gonna count on relief pitchers to get on those innings limits. Tanner Scott, Blake Trinan, whoever this Yoho guy is from the Brewers. I don't think I've ever heard of him before. Hunter Gaddis, Johnny Estrada, Steve Smith. Although I is that Steve Smith or Stan Smith? Let me see. I don't even know.
from the Hawks.
Shane Smith, the White Sox. Yeah. What, the Blackhawks? Oh, Steve Smith, the former Blackhawks defenseman. Wow, we went there. We went there. Jeremiah Estrada. My bad. Sorry, folks. Uh, where is who's this Yoho guy? Do I have him on my list anywhere? Is he a prospect? But anyway, that's a lot of relief pitchers for a team
Yeah.
like this. But that's what Jet is gonna bank on. No, I don't have Yoho on my list. Oh well, he's gonna bank on relievers. It worked for him one time when the league started this formation that we are in now. But no, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Let's see here. What other things do we know? Is Davidson de los Santos. So I've had mixed feelings on de los Santos. Obviously, it's a speculative pick by Henry. There are times where I've been bragging about de los Santos, and there's other times where I'm very wary of de los Santos. He could be the next Miguel Cano. Remember the Twins corner infielder? I'm sorry, Miguel Sano. Sano. Sorry about that.
Hey, who's Miguel now?
I don't know. Don't you know? Miguel Cano. No, Miguel Sano. Davidson de los Santos. I mean, he had a great year under the Diamondbacks minor league system, but then he went to the Marlins and he struggled on their system, and he just got sent back to the minors from spring training. Do you believe that Davidson de los Santos is the real deal, or is it just fool's gold that we saw last year from him in the minors?
Again, it's that transition point. He's got tools. The question is he going to be able to put it together? I mean, and
Yeah.
Miami's really good with young guys usually, and then, they'll trade him at the end of the year once he starts hitting well.
Probably to the Yankees. I think that's why Henry got him. Yeah.
Well, Henry's got to draft a certain number of Hispanic players on his team. It's like a rule.
Should we
When in doubt, Dominican next available Dominican.
next available Caribbean? If they played on an island, he's
Yeah,
definitely getting him. Let's see. De Los Santos. Well, let's start from the all the way. We count Nick Martinez. Okay, we'll count Nick Martinez as a Latino. Grayson Rodriguez, we count him as a Latino. De Los Santos, Willie Castro, Luis Rengifo, Gleyber Torres, Eugenio Suarez. I'm taking Carlos Rodon. Yes, I'm counting him.
Suarez.
Roberto Suarez, that's nine, I think.
Mhm.
Yanier Diaz, that's 10. And that's it. And I don't even know who he's kept, but 10 Latino players out of 27. That's a 270 batting average, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Still above league average. That's okay.
feels like a low number for Henry.
Like I said, I don't know who he kept, so we're not gonna do that. We
Don't
already
look.
did that one time. Okay, fine. We'll find out. What's another 15 minutes of just looking up silly stuff here? Let's see. What's his name? King Puti?
Hmm.
Oh my God, cooperate with me, boy. There you go. King Puti's name. So we wait. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. It's going faster there, James. It's going faster. Let's see if we can figure out who his keepers were. Corbin Carroll, not Latino. Okay, that's enough of the hitters. What about okay, no minor league hitters, Latinos.
Oh
Chris
no,
Sale and Paul Skeens.
he kept Sale and Skinner.
That's right. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah. Hey man, 270 is not bad, okay?
No, not bad.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think this is Tyler Rogers, the submarine pitcher, not Taylor. Taylor got traded. I forgot to where though, but that is indeed Tyler Rogers. That's a guy that can get you a lot of holds, despite the fact that he lacks the stuff of a dominant relief pitcher, but he dominates in other ways. Josh Lowe going to the Rays fan. I get Reese Olson, Kirby Yates going to the Dodgers. We talked about him. It's not that we don't like Kirby Yates. Well, he has a little bit of a pitch to contact tendencies for a relief pitcher, but it's just that we don't know what the roles are in Los Angeles. Brady Singer, very underrated pitcher, but not someone I get excited about. Garrett Mitchell, I got because I fell in love with him in the other draft. I'm not sure if I'm in love with him in this draft, but the decision was already made. Bubba Chandler, there's another prospect going. That's actually a good pick by Angel. I'll commend him for that. Battle of two injured starting pitchers. Who will have a better season? You Darvish or Brandon Woodruff?
I think Woodruff personally, but
Okay, okay. I would avoid these two and Grayson Rodriguez. Any update on him? Let's see. He
May.
played catch from 90 feet. Earliest to return is May 1st. Now I'm trying to win this year, bro. I'm not. Yeah, especially guy with the elbow inflammation. Nah, man. I get it. Sneaky pick, end of the draft. It's
Yeah,
fine. Not for me, man. I play to win the game. Jung Ho Lee, is this? See, we found out that Jung Ho Lee, especially last year, when you add up all the counting stats that we keep track of in this league for scoring purposes,
Hmm.
he becomes like a top 20 player, like a must-have player to build your team around. But obviously, because of the low home runs and low stolen bases, he is getting drafted in the 22nd round. So who is the real Jung Ho Lee? And of course, it's hard to tell because he got injured late. He only played 37 games last season. So he believe he dislocated his shoulder going for a diving stab. But before any of that was happening, I mean, he was already struggling to begin with major league hitting in a gargantuan ballpark. But who is Jung Ho Lee? Is he the guy that you see here, or is he someone that's gonna be able to accumulate all type of statistics like a Draymond Green of sorts? Is he the Draymond Green of Major League Baseball fantasy wise?
I mean, he's a contact guy.
Yep.
The question is, is he gonna be able to consistently do that over the course of the whole season? Like I said, we got a small sample size. The 10 walks to 13 strikeouts looks like a great number if he can keep that up.
Yeah.
Is that going to lead to a high OBP?
It
Are we going to get a lot
should.
of stolen bases?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be a power hitter. So,
Yeah.
you look at the speed aspect, the OBP. Is he that kind of guy that it's going to make that big of a difference
Hmm. No,
for those who like that? He's just, he's not a power guy at all to me.
I agree. I agree. Caleb Durbin and Gavin Lux going back to back. Gavin Lux going to Aaron's team. Caleb Durbin going to Sean's team because of course he would get Durbin. I believe this is the yep. Of course. He's 5'7", so of course he has to go to Sean's team. He's also a speedy guy from what I remember, and obviously multiple position eligible, so good for him. I just don't know if he's going to be playing regularly this year for the Brewers.
Hmm.
I rather not know is more than what it really boils down to. And of course, he also gets Victor Scott, so he's trying to corner that market for the stolen bases. Zach Geloff going to your team, which I kind of like him, and then the other days I don't like him. Obviously, you're
Yeah,
not. It's a
like we talked about him.
yeah,
Like we love the upside. The question is he going to put it together this year? Um,
and
now he's hurt, obviously.
yeah, yeah, you got an injured spot for him, so
Yeah, when they finally put him on there.
yeah, oh, this is ridiculous. But yeah, this is what we like about him. 17 home runs, 25 stolen bases. What we don't like about him, the 188 strikeouts and the 270 on base percentage. Yeah, 270 on base percentage.
It's one of those things where we talked about with the other, I forgot who we were talking about before, but it's like Cole Keith.
Yeah,
Obviously they got a lot of faith in him because they ran him out there for 470 at bats.
yeah.
So they're willing to try and let him work through it. So, we'll see.
Uh, what you think of that Nolan Jones trade, huh? Got traded to the Rockies, only to get traded back to the Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, he was a disappointment for me last year.
Yeah, me too. I had high expectations for him, and he was hurt. But when he was out there, he was getting neutralized by left-handed pitching. I felt like, and his strikeouts were just killers, man. I think he was one of those guys that was averaging a 30% strikeout rate, and so does Matt Wallner too. By the way, whose team is this? Oh, Jacob's team again. So
Mm,
yeah, I do like Matt Wallner, but he also comes with a high strikeout rate, so you got to be careful with that. Back to back starting pitchers. This has to be Noah's team. He finally got Chase Dollander. He got the youngster Rhett Lauder, Nestor Cortez, the veteran pitcher. Okay, I see what he's doing. And how does he finish the draft? In the 27th round, Matthew Boyd. More like a Boyd. Am I right?
mm.
Mm. Who else do we see here?
So,
What's the allure about Merrill Kelly? Maybe you can make it make sense for me. What is so good about Merrill Kelly? Why do people insist on drafting Merrill
I mean,
Kelly?
he's pretty average. He's not,
I believe the kids call that mid nowadays, James. They call
mid,
it's mid.
mid.
I mean,
I
this is
mean, he clearly had a down year last year for what he's done before, it seemed like.
yeah, the high ERA. The whip is still low because I he doesn't walk too many guys. It looks like
Hmm.
it's hard to tell on my book because I deal with the rate stats, so when I see 19 walks and 73 innings pitched, it's hard for me to decipher what that means. But it's healthy 3.3 strikeout to walk ratio, and then what is that? 19 times 9 divided by 73.2. Yeah. Oh, it's a ridiculously low 2 walks every 9 innings. So yeah, that's what you're getting from the guy. Um, yeah. So yeah, pretty darn good stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, when he's healthy, it seems like you're getting an ERA in the threes. You got 18 quality starts for the last 2 years before last year. Does he bounce back this year? And if he gets to 30 starts, if he's healthy, it's not a terrible pick at this point in the draft if you're looking for starter depth, obviously.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he'll a lot of innings, but he's a solid but unspectacular selection from my book. I mean, this is the time of the draft you're supposed to be shooting for the stars. But yeah, if you're looking to solidify your roster, I mean, I guess you could do a lot worse than Merrill
Well,
Kelly.
it depends on what pictures also kind of you took earlier. Because if you took some chances earlier, you might want to grab like a stable guy that you can plug in there when you need to.
All right, let's find out. He
You
picked
know,
the.
because we've got those split weeks, and you need to hit those innings.
That's right. Yeah, you're true about that. Bubba Chandler goes to Angels team in the previous round. Ryan Pepio, Jose Barrios. Oh, that's why he had to get Merrill Kelly. He has to make up for the fact that he had Jose Barrios. No, I'm joking. George Kirby, Justin Steele, Shane McClanahan, who got hurt. I'm not sure when he found out. Angel did, but yeah, Shane McClanahan is hurt again. Hunter Brown and Pablo Lopez. So yeah, he's trying to solidify that.
The McClanahan thing ended up not being as bad as they thought initially. It was
Yeah,
like
it's
a
a
nerve thing or something.
triceps injury. Yeah,
That's
so.
okay, yeah. Because when I saw it happen, I was like, oh no. The way he
Uh,
walked off, I thought he was done for the year.
who's a better relief pitcher, Jordan Romero or Jojo Romero? Who's a better first baseman, Christian Encarnacion Strand? By the way, the answer is Jojo Romero. Uh, Christian Encarnacion Strand, Ben Rice, Lamont Wade Jr. Who's the better first baseman for this
Uh,
upcoming season, I guess?
I mean, at this point, I would probably have gone with Kristen Encarnacion.
I like Lamont Wade Jr. Steady bat there that he is.
You know,
I like that one. Who picked?
upside wise, if you've been watching spring training, if you're going off of spring training, Rice is just murdering the ball.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, at spring training, his exit velocity is up substantially from last year. But again, small sample sizes.
And this is what I'm talking about. A starting pitcher, young prospect starting pitchers going off the wall, off the shelf here. Will Warren. If you want to include Dustin May, you can. Harvey Birdsong, Rhett Lauder, not Charlie Morton, but yeah, you got this Chase Dollander. We already talked
Mhm.
about him, but yeah, interesting how these youngins are going right around this vicinity. So who has the most upside? Just in general, because a lot of these guys are long term, but who has the most upside of all of these pitchers I just listed?
From what I've seen, I think a lot of people are really high on this Birdsong kid.
Yeah, I was high on him too last year until he shat the bed last year. But
Right. Like I said, that's the one that I heard a lot about.
and he's gonna come out of the bullpen, which this is the opposite of Reed Demers. I think it's a good spot for him. At least he'll be up and running for the big league club, and
Mhm.
eventually he'll get his chance to be a starting pitcher, be a spot starter. But yeah, the 88 strikeouts and 72 innings pitched last year, which is darn good. Not good, the 4.75 ERA, the 1.39 whip. So that's not going to cut it. This is basically a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, a lot
Walk
of
to strike.
walks.
Yeah, too many walks there. So he needs to clamp it down. But that's part of the allure of Harvey Birdsong is that he can control his walks. He showed, last I checked, he did show that in the minors. So we'll see if he shows that in the majors. Nick Martinez kind of hurt. Who got him here? Oh, of course, Henry. Yeah, we just talked about it. Henry got Nick Martinez, which kind of broke my heart a little bit. I was hoping to get him, but that's okay. Paved the way for Justin Verlander. Quick, who's the best 40-year-old starting pitcher here? Charlie Morton or Justin Verlander? I'm assuming Charlie Morton is 40 years old. Let me double check that. 41. All right,
41.
it's about my age. Okay. All right,
Wow.
Morton with the Orioles or Verlander with the Giants?
Jesus. I mean, Morton just refuses to allow Father Time to take him at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And
You're gonna
Ver,
say that? You're gonna say that about
huh?
Morton? You're gonna say that about Morton, but you're not gonna say that about Verlander, who
Well, Verlander again. You have Verlander and Scherzer. And are we flipping a coin and seeing which are they just sharing an injured reserve spot at some point?
no way, man. No, they're gonna give me four innings to start out, 5 innings, and they're gonna be gradual and increase their workload, and they're gonna look great again.
Yeah,
By
they're gonna give you a tremendous month and a half of the season.
as long as that tremendous month is the month of August and September, in time for those championship matchups, I'm all for it, man. Uh,
High risk, high reward.
more like medium risk. It's low
Well,
risk, low
With
risk.
Verlander at this point, that's like I said, that's a lottery ticket at this point. The Scherzer thing, like I said, if he's healthy, amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Scherzer's my fourth starting pitcher now that Jared Jones is hurt, or maybe my fifth with Robbie Ray in tow, Nick Pivetta. So, I did what I could to make up for the fact that I got a couple of old guys. But hey, I go back to what I always say: sometimes older is better at starting pitching.
Hmm.
Sometimes. I just want to point out that how in love I am with this pick that I made here with my last relief pitcher, Orion Kerkering. Uh, this might end up being the closer for the Phillies when it's all said and done. So look out for that name, Orion Kerkering, with the where was it? Where was it? 14 holds, um, 74 strikeouts and 63 innings pitched, 74 7 and only 17 walks. I mean, it's a lot to like about this kid. I'm yeah, I can't wait to see what he does for an encore, and he's gonna eventually take over that role for the Phillies. I think that's just me. All right, enough of that. Emerson Hancock or Brian Bello? Who was a better late post hype prospect sleeper here?
I actually like Hancock.
Yeah, I like what the Mariners do. Bello, I just it's the Reed Detmers thing. I'm pretty sure that people see his fastball and
Hmm.
it must be the size of a watermelon or something. A beach ball is what I meant to say. Sorry. Got a
To me, it's flat.
yeah, yeah. That's been his MO for a while now. Unfortunately, the better third base prospect. I honestly don't even know who this Workman kid is. Gage Workman. Okay. 25 years old. No wonder I don't know him, man. That's too old, man. I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio when it comes to prospects, man. I don't want no 25-year-old prospect on my team. Get out of here with that. But anyway, who's the best of the bunch here? Got
I I really like Beatty. I just don't know what happened with him last year. He was very disappointing, obviously.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Jace Jung.
But John, like I said, I was gonna say John. If we're holding family pedigrees here, his brother's done pretty good.
Yeah, I just that can't stay
Um,
healthy, strikes out too much, obviously. And I'm pretty sure Jace is pretty much cut from the same cloth. But yeah, I think if he were on any other team except for the Tigers, I think we would have seen him get called up or get skyrocketed,
mhm.
to a major league.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of infielders right now, and they
Yeah.
just signed Gleiber too. So
Yeah, and the other problem with Beatty is now that you mention it, yeah, they have the same issues in New York is that they're trying to win now, and Beatty is kind of stuck in that pressure pack situation, and they got a lot of options. They got Mark Vientos, who's finally playing up to par. So,
yeah,
uh,
Vientos had a breakout, so that really hurt Beatty as well because he just
yeah,
wasn't
exactly.
performing.
You picked up George Lombard Jr., and of course, not surprisingly, Sean goes with the speedy David Hamilton. Do you think you still made the right choice here with Lombard?
Yeah, Lombard's a future pick. He's gonna sit in my minors thing. He's obviously not gonna come up this year at all. But he's made tremendous strides. He's jumped up to he's gonna jump up to double A. Honestly, with his physical profile, he may end up being the third baseman of the future,
Okay.
as opposed to just the shortstop.
This is Tyler McGill, Eduardo Rodriguez, or Jake Irving. Who's the best player, starting pitcher there as we wind up this draft?
I like McGill a lot.
Yeah, I kind of too. I don't know why he kind of lost him on the radar because I was looking to get Eduardo Rodriguez at the end of this draft, and I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad Aaron made the choice for me, so I didn't have to make that decision. Spencer Torkelson going to Will Ponzi's team. That's Jacob, the Mets fan from upstate
Mhm.
New York. So that's gonna be a. I think that's gonna be a steal. That's gonna be a really good pickup there by Jacob. So good job on his part. Uh, bunch of outfielders. You know, I guess TJ Friedl by default is the best, although Brandon Marsh might still have the best upside in terms of stolen base potential.
Yeah, I like Marsh actually.
Yeah, and then there's Jordan Walker, who,
Yeah.
yeah, you see his face. That's
Uh-huh.
that's how I look when I look at Jordan Walker too. Like,
Yeah,
what
I
is?
like the face.
Why can't you play the way we think you can play? We believe in you, bro. And to finish off the draft, Aaron Sabali, Casey Mize, and I believe this is Tobias Myers.
Wiseman?
Yes, I like my pick of Casey Mize, but maybe you see it differently. Who was the best starting pitcher there?
I like Mize. I've liked him for a while.
Yeah,
That's just,
we've kind of been waiting. Yeah.
well, he's got to put it together, obviously.
And that's it. That is the draft recap. It's kind of hard to figure out who had the best team and all that. We that would have to take another podcast, but we are out of time. We've gone too long, and I'm gonna take a long break from podcasting because I am exhausted, man. I've been doing podcasts left and right and spent some time with the family. I'm like that guy who plays Call of Duty for like 17 hours straight, and I come back and, oh my God, your dad's back from war. Yeah, man, it was bad out there. And they had they
No,
they had a team on them. I tell you what, I must have died like 1,700 times, but my squad, we just kept digging and digging, and we eventually got into a winning streak. But I need to head back there. They need me. The team needs me. Um, so yeah, I guess since you're the guest, we'll quickly like take a look at your team. Bo Naylor, Austin Wells. Too many strikeouts for Bo Naylor, but you obviously like him. I mean, I liked him for a long time, but yeah, I can't do the strikeouts anymore with him. He needs to start showing me something. Matt Olson, yeah, I like the Matt Olson, Manny Machado corner infield, but then you got Dansby Swanson and Xander Bogaerts, and that's kind of leaving me empty on the inside a little bit, just a little bit. I do like Anthony Volpe better than Dansby Swanson, so that's a thing. Hopefully he turns things around for you this year. Michael Taglia is up on the board as well, corner infielder, which I already share my thoughts on him. I think he's not long for fantasy baseball relevance and uh, this season and next season. I think the arrow is pointing down, but people like Taglia, and I get it. Colorado power number, but it comes with a lot of inconsistencies as well. Outfield Dominguez, Duran, Cowser, Brian Reynolds. That's not too shabby. It all depends if Jason Dominguez and Colton Cowser play up to par, which is, as you know, James, that's very difficult to expect these youngsters to play up to their high potential, especially early on in their careers. But we'll see if you get on a lucky roll. Got a bunch of guys like Zach Geloff, Chris Morel, with the potential of to hit big home runs and big stolen bases. You mentioned Andy Pajes. There's another. Speaking of home runs and stolen bases, Adolis Garcia, and I like Luke Raley, but he was really struggling this spring, and that kind of turned me off. Like, forget this crap. I don't want to get Luke Raley, but if he turns things around, and you're looking at a first baseman who could steal 10 bases and qualifies at left field and right field and hits for immense power,
hmm
that could work out in your favor, but yeah, he was really bad. Like there was like nothing to him. Oh, you're the
Yeah.
one who got Luis Angel Acuna. Damn you.
Yeah,
Damn.
I had him since last year.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought a Mets fan had him, but no, it was a Yankee fan all along. You were gonna say something about Luke Raley really quick?
No, like I said, he was one of those guys where he hit pretty well last year, and like you said, he's got the stolen bases. He's qualified at several positions. Like I said, I always kind of like to have those kind of a couple of those guys on the bench that can do lots of little things, and you can kind of plug them in different spots when you need to.
The bullpen's good. I'm still wary about Carlos Estevez, but from a volume standpoint, I understand where you're coming from. Griffin Jacks, pretty darn good. I love Devin Williams, as we've talked about. Uh, Oh, and you also got Pete Fairbanks. I just realized that right now, so that's pretty good. But there's a mixed bag here. You got Alcantara, Michael King, Logan Webb, and then Mackenzie Gore, who's like a wild card. We don't know what to expect. Sean Burke, I'm a White Sox fan, but I'm staying away as far as away from any White Sox player unless you're like Luis Robert, which that's what ended up happening in this league. I ended up with Luis Robert and hoping to God that it works out. I like Jeff Springs. I don't like Jake Irvin. I just don't. Then he doesn't do anything for me. But you're gonna go to that well and hope for the best. Meanwhile, you're waiting on Christian Scott, Luis Gill. So yeah, that is your team, and I think that's a good place to stop. And I'm just gonna ask you one last question. I usually leave you the last word, but I'm gonna ask you: you've been in this league for what, 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons? Uh, in your opinion, what do you think it takes to have a consistent winner in a league like this? Categories, 12 by 12, semi-weekly league. There's a keeper component to it. There's a minor league component to it. What it ultimately is the key to to having a successful season in a league like this?
I mean, a lot of it to me is, you have to, leave your fandom out of it. Like we were discussing before, we try not to just draft who we like as favorite players. But a lot of it is, like I say, just like in actual sports, a lot of it's luck and health.
Yeah.
'Cause you can draft guys, and we've got the projections, and we've got our spreadsheets early on in the year, and what we think guys are going to do,
Why am
and
I
then all
catching
of a sudden,
why am I catching strays from you, bro?
the hamstring, the rotator cuff, the UCL, and your whole all of a sudden
Damn.
your pitching staff that looked great now is in the toilet.
Damn, dude. Throwing why am I catching you're on my podcast and you're throwing strays. I'm catching strays from you or spray. What was that? How does that go?
No, no, listen, I got my own spreadsheets, and I think we have almost the same spreadsheets half the
Oh,
time from when I see your picks.
okay,
So,
okay.
like I said, we all do these projections, and we look at the stuff, and we're like, all right, this guy's gonna do this, or that guy's gonna do that, and then all of a sudden, freak injury, especially with like we discussed with the pitching, it's like you drafted a really good
Yeah,
pitching staff,
yeah. I know
and
I
two
did.
months from
Yeah,
now, three of those guys are gone, and you're like on the waiver wires every 3 days,
damn, dude.
finding somebody to start.
I honestly thought I was getting shade from you for a
No,
split
no.
second. Okay,
It's
okay.
just, it drives you crazy when you do all this work in the off season, and
That is true.
you can't account for like the crazy injuries that are going to occur in the season.
Yeah. With me, I as you saw last year, I dominated. It wasn't my best team, but it was definitely the most. It was a lot of effort I gave. Actually, I gave more effort when I won the championship than I did last year. I still was able to break my winning record or tie it or something like that. But yeah, I got once again 30 wins and number one in the Roto standings, right? Because we
Mhm.
also have a Roto standings for who's the leader on all of these categories. Excuse me. Anyway, the point is at the end of the year, I mean, lots of we talked about it numerous times. Lots of injuries to my pitching staff. Injury bug finally hit me at the most inopportune time of the season,
Yeah.
and my hitters just kind of went. They just nowhere to be found. Albie's got back from injury way too late. By the time he got back, I was already. It was a foregone conclusion. It was too late for him to help me whatsoever. And I got bit by the fact that I believe Boat was a seventh seed. We do 8 playoff teams. If this would have been a six or even a four
Mhm.
playoff team for the championship, I probably would have won the damn thing already. But the more teams you add, the more random variance gets into it. Ask Major League Baseball how their real playoffs end up going every season. And then I just Boat, who was struggling to be consistent this year. He always had Shohei Ohtani and Corbin Burns, and those are the two guys that murdered me in all my fantasy leagues. And it's that luck
Yeah.
factor you're talking about. But the one thing that we can do, the one thing that we can do, and I will say this, the one thing that we can do is we can control for the things that we can control. Just like in real life, we control for the things that we can control, the variables that we have full control over. Do not try to not get so many pitch to contact pitchers. Instead, get guys with high upside who strike out this many guys. What's the old adage? In terms of analytics, if you strike out more guys, you lower your chances of getting more batted balls. Batted balls could be anything. It could be a fly ball, a ground out. It's a batted ball. It could be anything. And as you know, some of the greatest rallies in the history of baseball didn't happen from a 17 or from a 7 run home run. Those don't exist. No, they happen just from dinking and dunking the damn baseball all over the field, and the fielders are like, "Where is the ball going? I don't know what to do." And the
Mhm.
the pitchers just throwing gas, and the hitters are just getting enough. wood on the bat where it's like falling between the second baseman and the right fielder, and then runs are scoring, and that's the old timey baseball that people love, right? That's why you strike out guys so you can avoid all that because you don't want to put your
Nothing
go
to
ahead.
me ever frustrates a pitcher more than guys who can just slap the ball.
Mm.
Especially power pitchers. You can get them frustrated pretty easy that way.
Yeah, because those pesky guys. I'm kind of interested to see what happens when these guys with pitchers with low contact rates have to face hitters with high contact rate. I would be interested in seeing that, although I don't want to pay the premium that they charge over at the sports reference page, the baseball reference page for that kind of inquiry
Hmm.
or that kind of query. And I don't know how to do it for Fangraphs. I don't think that's a thing, but I wish it was. But little things I wish I had more time
Um,
to do on
I
my.
do I do remember Greg Maddox talking about how he hated Tony Gwynn
Yeah, yeah.
because he was like so good against everybody. He's like, but that what he's like that Tony Gwynn, he just killed.
Yeah, Tony
You
Gwynn.
know,
If you're
and
gonna
I,
be
I
a
I used to watch, when I used to watch, those old Yankee teams, with Jeter and all them, and they would just wear pitchers out.
yeah,
Those lineups would wear pitchers out.
yeah, that's I mean it's about variety,
70,
right?
80 pitches by the fifth, sixth inning, and
It's about having
yeah.
variety for sure. Yeah, yeah, because you got the power hitters, the contact hitters, the speedy guys, the all around hitters. So yeah, we need a fair balance. So we've seen some really great power hitting teams over the past 20, 30 years, and like the Cleveland Guardians, they have zero championships to show for it, especially during
Hmm.
their steroid era
Yeah.
teams that made it to the World Series but couldn't win it. So there's that. And they had some good. You know what? Looking back, they did have really good variety. They had Kenny Lofton, Carlos Baerga, Robbie Alomar at some points, Sandy
No,
Alomar.
no. And again, these were guys who, even see if we go focus a lot on the strikeouts, but even the high strikeout guys on certain teams, work counts.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, a bad K guy is somebody who sees three or four pitches in at bat. If you're seeing seven or eight pitches in at bat and you still strike out, that's different than somebody who goes up there and swings at three pitches. Because
Yeah.
you're still working the pitcher, and yeah, sometimes you're going to strike out,
Yeah. And then you get to the
but
whole,
there's a different quality of a hitter.
but then you get to the whole Dan Vogelbach thing where nobody likes Daniel Vogelbach, sorry. Like V's and B's, I
Uh-huh.
struggle. But that's what you're talking about. You're talking about guys who can grind out at bats and see lots of pitches and know how to take walks. But you saw the Mets fans; they were getting very agitated and very impatient with him. Hit the damn ball, Tubby. They're calling him all sorts of names, and this is why analytics
Uh-huh.
is such bullshit, and this and that or the other. But you just described him in a nutshell. If you don't like Dan Vogelbach, then you're describing Kyle Schwarber. You're describing Chris Bryant. That's how the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. They were, except for Javier Baez, but everybody else was grinding out at bats. We were one of the patient teams out there that year because that's how Theo Epstein was able to build his Red Sox championship teams. Just get guys who can grind out
And
at
it's funny
bats.
because the philosophy, hitting philosophy has changed so much now,
Yeah.
but if you think about it, with how controlled they are with pitch counts, if you got a team that could really grind out at bats, you could get most starters out by the fourth, fifth inning
The problem is that the
because
bullpen.
you get 80 pitches.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish your thought. Go ahead. I'm
yeah, but
sorry.
if you're going into that bullpen every day,
Yeah, you're right about that.
if you're
It
getting
does
into
that
the
up.
team's bullpen every day, you can't do, it's not the
That
same thing.
That is a good point. That is a really good point. But at the same time, though, I mean, some of these bullpens are just so damn efficient that it doesn't even matter. They'll throw 9 pitches today, and then tomorrow they'll get a rest, or they'll pitch 9 more pitches, or 10 more pitches, 11 more pitches. It's
Mm.
nothing to them. And yeah, eventually they'll get the rest. And it's funny how that works that way. But a dominant bullpen, obviously, that's why teams crack their skulls trying to figure out. That's why Reed Detmers is on the Angels bullpen because they want to figure out how to utilize him to his maximum potential, and that's what they figured out. So we started talking about Reed Detmers, and we're gonna end
I'm
talking about
Rick
Reed
Detmers.
Detmers. Oh, how disgusting! That's how you know we have
Nobody would have
problems.
predicted that, Felipe.
We have issues. We have problems. If we were single men, actually, well, You are for sorry to bring that up, but if we were single men, if we both of us were single men, I think this is what women would describe as having the ick. So sorry, dude. I just, I can't help you on that front, but I can't help you with your fantasy baseball team if you keep listening to this podcast. So there you go. All right, man. Well, thank you so much as always. I really appreciate it. I wish we could talk some basketball. Our fantasy basketball players are starting out as we speak. Um, I'm
Well,
s-
good luck to you on those, obviously.
yeah, I'm hoping that Kate Cunningham comes back. Otherwise, I got Dennis Schroeder to take his spot. So, hey, man, he did. Hey, remember when we were talking about Ben Simmons?
Oh
Do I
gosh.
get Ben Simmons or Dennis Schroeder? I ended up getting Ben Simmons on my team anyway. I'm going to tell my wife about it.
Ugh,
Keep
Ben
that
Simmons.
conversation going. That's how you keep the love burning, guys. You could,
Is he out of the league yet?
ooh, Ben Simmons? No, man, he's with the Clippers, I believe.
Clippers. Okay.
Yeah, bro. He's gonna one day we're gonna make Ben Simmons great again. You'll see. You'll see.
So next year's Vegas line will be who starts more games, Ben Simmons or Kawhi Leonard?
Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, that's a tragedy right there, Kawhi Leonard. That is a tragedy. We'll find out soon enough, and you'll hear it from us first. For James, I am Felipe. This has been the Total Basis Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to all our channels and platforms and whatnot. Until then, we will see you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.